core, and I'm just sitting there just like, I don't know how Matt starts these things.
Usually introduces, says hi, welcome.
Hi, welcome to Forgotten World Adventures, where a bunch of my nerdy friends and I play Dungeons and Dragons.
Or we and a bunch of
Or I could do, the Brian W. Foster that they do on Critical Role. And welcome to the internet.
Well, the good news is we are currently live.
Oh, yeah. That's good. Yay.
Now, who left their volume on?
I go with.
It wasn't me this time.
It wasn't me this time.
Now, you might notice we're missing a couple people.
Yes. So
Mainly our DM.
Yeah. I am the DM for today.
You're the
You're
you're the moderator.
Yeah.
Just
So-
DM.
So yeah, if you notice, we're missing a few people. Mainly, Matt is missing, and Connor is missing, and Alyssa is missing.
Yep.
They've had a few things come up, and so even after our week break, we couldn't do a normal session today. And it was a bit brief notice, so we didn't have enough time to set up a one-shot. And so we're going to do a nice special Q&A episode.
To be fair, I asked what the AC of mummies were because I was planning something, but I never got the reply.
Well,
I was at work.
I'm sorry to say, but I kind of thought that was a joke.
It was partially a joke. I was going to take the first Mummy movie and adapt it into an RPG setting.
For a one shot?
I think a mummy...
No. The very beginning of the first Mummy movie.
Mm-hmm.
That was going to be the one shot. Is when you guys are holding the line and people are coming in, you run into the thing, and you find a bunch of mummies and crap, and assumedly get eaten.
I know a normal zombie is a CR 1/4. So I think a mummy is around CR 1 to 2.
Yeah, I was going to make a thing, but meh.
You could have made them however stronger weak you want. I mean,
You could have had everyone be level 1.
Yeah.
That was the thing.
I mean, my one shot, I buffed the zombies up.
Anyway,
I really want to run a one shot, just not leave notice.
Yeah.
Challenge rating of 3, AC
3.
is 11.
Cool. Yeah, because, I just wanted to make, basically, just a hopeless one-shot where it's you guys are running through a thing because, you're a part of a military that was told to take this point, and now you're surrounded on the outside, you go in, and now you find out the inside is haunted and, filled with just stuff, and I was expecting you all to get picked off one by one. It was going to be great.
Oh, you're going to do a meat grinder. There's actually, do you know the meat grinder rules?
Not really, no.
It was a subset of rules in the Tomb of Annihilation, where the death save was 15 instead of 10.
Jeez.
Actually, I kind of just like that in general.
Mm-hmm.
The death saves
You
are-
like killing people, though. There's a difference.
3 death saves is a little too easy in my opinion.
But you also have to remember it was with the Tomb of Annihilation rule, so there was no, as soon as your character is dead, it's dead because Tomb of Annihilation absorbed your soul.
Alright, so we have questions and things. Now that we're back on topic for a second.
Yay! For a second. Now we're off topic again.
So I'm keeping an eye on the chats, both the Twitch and Mixer, and also I'm keeping an eye on Twitter. So if you want to use the hashtag that's on the screen, the Forgotten World D&D hashtag, I'll find your tweets.
So, like I was saying,
Okay.
Yeah, it's up there.
So, top right corner.
Top right, yeah. We're using a bit of a different background. We're using a bit of a different background, so I'm trying some new colors out, but I didn't have not enough time, but I just didn't want to spend the time to flush it out.
Yeah. And so it's just going to be question time, hangout time, sarcasm is normal,
Yep.
and vinegar as normal.
Salt and vinegar.
all these flavors, and you choose to be salty.
All right. So I guess who here now this is more of a question. Just who here wants to give a recap of what's happened so far in the game?
Who can remember what's happened so far in the game?
Please make it as stylized as possible.
There we were, alone in the bleak darkness, and then the world was created.
Okay, not that far back.
Okay, we're not going that far?
All right. 6 billion years ago, there was the Big Bang.
Oh no! Did Matt's universe start with the Big Bang?
Or was it a little...
And then suddenly there's everything.
And everything is there. This is why I kind of wanted Matt here for the Q&A, because we could ask him questions about his world. Like, did your world have a Big Bang, or was there a god who kind of just sat back and go, you know what? World.
That's one of the sad things, because I think the the thing that needs the most questions answered is the world, not our characters. I
Yeah.
mean, we've got the wash-up smuggler.
I'm not washed up. I'm currently.
They're literally washed up from the ocean.
I'm a sea elf. What do you expect?
The the aspiring wizard who wants to be a fighter,
The
basically.
goody two shoes.
We gotta get 2 shoes. We can't say no to anything.
It's called accepting the plot hooks. It's how you move the game along.
Oh, we accept them. We just accept them in the other direction.
We've got the bear.
Yep.
We've got the thorn in our side assassin.
Wait, you're pointing at Shalia.
The thorn in our side rogue.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
And the fighter who wants to be the best. That no one ever
I wanna
was.
be the very
And then, of course, the people who aren't here, the cat.
The murdering cleric.
The murder, no. I played a war cleric and I didn't outright kill as many people as
It's like, wait. If I kill you, I can heal you better.
That
Poof.
I'll disagree with that, but oh well.
We'll bring it back.
And-
You'll be better,
and-
stronger,
And that's
faster.
the mentally disturbed Eladrin.
No,
Yeah.
the
Wait.
freaking bard that wants to be a rogue, who's nothing but freaking edge as far as the eye can see.
Which I'm gonna wonder because he's now doing rehearsals if he's gonna miss a few episodes or
yeah.
not.
He might miss a few episodes. The schedule was supposed to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but they threw him some curveballs with.
It's understandable. I mean, we were gone last week. We've had a few people missing. It's understandable. It's just
He's
It's just-
going to- the problem is he's going to know the week of.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So-
we'll never know whether he's gonna be here until.
Monday.
The thing is, he's not really that big in the plot at the moment, so it's.
He's really not.
You hear that, Connor? You'll never watch this.
I'm just saying it's going to be easy for Matt to either play him or excuse him. It's not like Shalia
Yeah.
or
It's a lot of what makes him cool as a character too is that he knows things about the world, except for
Well, isn't
Connor
he-
as the player.
Isn't he the oldest out of all of our
500 or
characters?
so years,
Yeah.
somewhere along that line, which
I'm just sitting there. I'm thinking about it because it's like half of our party are elves. The other half of the party usually live longer.
Yeah.
And then how old's your character?
Like,
I thought he
uh,
was.
is that early 20s or
Here's
early
the idea.
30s?
We
And
go
so
around
I'm
the
just-
table and say our
Yeah, well-
characters' ages.
Well, we're gonna discuss characters here in a bit.
Yeah.
But it's like Key is 13 years old.
No wonder you're so annoying. You're 13.
And in Kenku, technically, that is the age of maturity. So it's like I'm a young adult, but it's like compared to every one of you, it's like I am the youngest character, and it's just like it's so just like okay.
I'm going to say, he is the member of the party that I've come closest to actually trying to kill.
A lot,
I'm shooting you with the intention of not killing you.
and your gun always just goes click.
So many times. And by so many times, I mean once.
I still really like that when you dropped it, it misfired it.
That just like
That was actually really cool.
that makes me question so many.
Oh, what's that
things.
movie?
It's
The
movie
Apple
where the
Dumpling
signal
Gang.
just get blocks into your head, isn't it?
Who here has seen the Apple Dumpling Gang with Don Knotts?
No.
I
There's
know
a
that
scene.
is.
There's a
It's
scene.
while back,
Yeah.
I don't remember it.
It's a comedic western, and they're trying to rob a bank. The whole plot of the movie is these two guys trying to rob this bank, and the sheriff always gets in the way. But there's this one time where they're in there, and he's like, "Put your hands up." So they go hands up, and they drop the gun. The gun drops, and the bullet ricochets around the bank and hits the sheriff in his hand, and they're able to run away.
Yeah.
But it's like it made me think of that scene. It's like, boom, whoa.
Like, to
Don't
my,
worry, Sheriff. The safety's on old Betsy.
like, that annoys me just because my understanding is that when specifically this gun jams, it cannot be fired. The only way that works is if I spend an action unjamming it, and that is the only way to get that to work. But suddenly dropping it causes it to go off.
Well, he was obeying the unwritten rule of the rule of cool. If they can make the story better, just go with it.
Someone really needs to write that rule, though.
Basically, the rule is if it makes the story better, just go with it.
Yeah.
And it's a
Even if it breaks rules in the
Okay,
handbook.
well that's
Sorry, go ahead.
that's one of the things is the rule of cool is hated by anyone who's trying to follow the handbook.
Mm-hmm.
Because they will never understand it.
See, that's the problem, though. I occasionally follow the handbook. I a lot of time like to just do whatever I think is cool. However, when it is an unwritten thing that the DM handed me, and then it's like, only if it jams, you have to spend an action to unjam it, or spend your free time to unjam it, that is the only way that will work again. That is my understanding as the rule's written.
Is
Yes,
dropping it technically an action?
You're gonna try to fire it, but you dropped
Free
it.
action.
And because you dropped it, possibly unjammed it, and that's why it can fire.
But it is an action.
There's just so many things that. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing, I have wanted a gun in a D&D campaign for years,
And you finally...
and I finally get it
With the
on the character that has a 0 dexterity.
Calm down.
I didn't mean to table that hard. You can go to.
Yeah.
I've been there and back.
There and back again.
and then again. And then back.
We're just...
Yeah, sorry.
Turns
Man.
out this isn't
No,
about
there's a-
Bilbo Baggins, it's about a traveling hobbit merchant.
But yeah.
Oh
so-
my gosh, I want that to be a character now. Just a merchant that's writing a book. There and back again and again and again.
And again.
It's just a logbook. Anyway,
there,
so
back and there, and back and there, and back again.
so trying to get.
And again.
We don't really have a topic technically, but
Well,
anything interesting, maybe?
Let the moderator give us one.
well, the main question that I was going to ask just to start us off was, just we're going to talk about our characters, just like a bit about why we created the character how it is, and what the main not the words, and what main developments they've made so far since when we've started to
Okay.
like character developments.
That's pretty cool. I like that. Actually, I pulled up freaking Nero's original character, like backstory and everything that I wrote down,
And
just so I can
that
get
on
some notes,
standby.
Yeah.
so I can see where I started.
And it's like you don't have to give. You don't have to give things away that you don't want to give away. If you want to give a bit more away now, you can, but just don't metagame later.
I don't know what I'm at liberty to say because some of my characters partly came from, basically from Matt telling me a little bit about things that exist in his world that he thought would be cool if it happens. But but it's not necessarily something that I necessarily wanted to build my character to do in the first place. Really, where Fernando came from was the idea is that I thought it'd be really cool to try to create a spellcaster where I could go and cast spells in Spanish because I know Spanish, and it would be really fun. And then that kind of evolved into, well, if I was going to do that, it would probably be best as a bard, but if I were playing a bard, I'd want to be a sword fighter kind of bard. And then that evolved into, well, let's turn it into like a Zorro-style conquistador thing and work with that. And I haven't really created much, like fleshed out, like who he is, where he came from, what happened with that. It's just that was the character concept, and I've just been kind of working with it ever since and trying to figure out, okay, do I want him to be like a scout for the country that he's from? Which, by the way, we didn't actually have a name for that country until about 2 or 3 episodes in.
When you just started calling it Iberia.
That was, like, I knew I needed to come up with a name for the place because I couldn't just say, oh yeah, in my homeland. It's like, what is your homeland? It's like, crap. And so I was trying to think of things that, I tried to base it loosely off of things like around Spain or Mexico. Mm-hmm. So Iberia is the name of the peninsula is Spain. So it's the Iberian Peninsula. So I was like, oh, that worked perfectly. Let's call it that.
I guess it's yours.
Okay.
Do it.
No.
Do it.
What was the question?
Just kind of.
That's a joke from the campaign before this one. The one you
We'll
were
explain
in.
it a little bit.
Just kind of
actually might
why
be-
you create your character, a bit of background and character development so far.
You take the now picture and compare it to the then picture and
To the
see
then
what has
picture?
changed.
And then compare it to the character concept drawing you did on the back of your notebook.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't draw people, guys.
Neither do I.
I can't draw people.
Incidentally, what happened?
I do.
Yeah.
That's how they take one
That's cool drawings.
You what?
They're in our room. Yeah, those custom character sheets I made that we never really used because they're just a bit too inconvenient.
Because it's a piece of artwork, and
Well,
now you have to try changing it every
I
time.
I laminated it, thinking we could just use permanent marker and then dry erase.
And it doesn't work that well.
And it was my first time making them, so the layout was just a bit off. Like some things were just kind of scattered about, and just. I mean, they looked cool, but I might make one later on.
I'd love to have one at the end of the game.
But it's the same. That it's like I'm not the best at drawing
Yeah.
people. I mean, I'm
You
working
did a
on
fine
it.
job though. It was fine. It was a fine concept to base the models off of.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, so Kenzie.
So Shalia is a Yagamoth or a Dark Elf.
Where'd the concept for that come from, by the way? Like,
I always liked the bad, like the presumably evil race actually having a relatively good, like,
redemption stories,
yeah,
or
kind of a redemption story.
So
The
kind of,
Jews do
yeah,
call
the
it.
dreads.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but not really, because last time I played a Dark Elf, I was forced into that direction.
I guess it would be kind of like how the Jews viewed the Samaritans. The Samaritans weren't necessarily bad people, they
Yeah.
just
And
prejudiced.
that's the thing, is that's what I always view, is they're not necessarily bad people, they're just perceived that way, and yes, they make bad choices. And so kind of the first thing that I wanted to do is she's kind of someone who just wants to be her own person, and because she was born in a high royal family, she's never been able to.
Okay.
She's always had to follow in her mom's footsteps. She doesn't want it.
So
Yeah,
from that character creation idea, has there any personality traits that you thought she would have changed now, or is she pretty much how you imagine she would be?
She's pretty much how I imagine she would be. She's getting. I'm a writer, so yes. So she's getting kind of, I guess you could say, upset with the group because she feels a lot of hostility and judgment, and it's more of not what she is. Well, it's because of what she is, not necessarily who she is, if that makes sense.
To be fair, one of my favorite conversations we've had this campaign so far
That was a
is
fun one.
us. Like when we were the old guys who almost decapitated me and Tape. They rolled natural ones.
Which
But
I still don't think that actually happened.
He sent me a picture.
I still don't believe it.
But during that thing where it was like we were having a conversation, it was like, people are people. Like, and you were like, but even Yagamoth? And we were both like, we both looked at you and were like, yeah, no, Yagamoth are people. Like, yeah.
Which is true, but a lot of the judgment she gets from even you guys is she's a Yagamoth. That's all she ever hears. It's not that she's an assassin, it's she's a Yagamoth. We can't trust her. That's what she hears.
True. I'm trying to think if Nero's ever said that.
I don't think you have,
I
but
don't think I've
everyone
said much
else
of
in the
anything.
group.
It's mainly kind of been Ferial.
Actually, for a while, kind of.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
been Ferial and a bit.
Like, geez, it's a sword.
Well, when I first met you, yes.
Yeah, when you
So,
first met, yeah.
That actually has part to go with Bjorn's background.
Yeah.
He starts
Which-
with the sage background, which I get a secret
Mm-hmm.
that could change the world, and it was basically your god coming back.
Which I hope eventually that you and I actually get a chance to talk.
Yeah.
Because you found out information from Key that I know things.
Yeah, because
that I didn't know at the
it was
beginning
that very, very first time I communicated with you and Ferial using my Awakened Mind. And
Yeah.
and it was the reason I got you guys to, because you guys were just going to go after Credence, but we got you and Ferial to also, Shalia needed
I
help.
did come back to speak to you about that as well, because I really want to
I
know
wanted
what's
to go
going
back
on.
to that.
Yeah,
I guess-
our last episode was kind of all over the place.
I guess you
Yeah.
could say she's never felt like she's belonged, and it still hasn't changed yet. I look forward to it changing, but she feels kind of disconnected.
I've always felt that Kalen distrusts her more for her relationship with Key than anything else.
So let's be honest here, Key's dragging you down.
She's very loyal to Key, and
Yeah.
Key is in the same way.
So sorry, again, we have
Up to this
sidetracked a
point.
bit. Was there
Yes.
anything else like your character that you wanted to go over, or any other we're doing.
No, this is what
Yeah.
this episode
I
is.
think this is still totally on topic.
This is still totally on topic.
She's made deals she probably wouldn't have made unless forced into the situations she's been into.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
Very much so.
Hey, you don't say.
So what we were talking about with the Kill the Paladin is in the previous campaign, anytime one of the characters picked up one of those Becheron knives, they would start hearing a whispering to kill the paladin,
So we had a
which was
paladin.
Connor's
Who
character.
was Connor, and because it's Becheron, just in the, you'd hear, hey, kill the paladin, kill the paladin. And freaking,
And then
my
eventually
character,
and the cleric, which was his
yeah, my character picked up the dagger once and made the save, so he was completely fine. But his head here, here, just, it was the people around the table who at the time was King and a couple other guys who I wish, like,
I wish he'd stayed.
I know King's on a mission, and I hope he's doing well. But man, I miss you. Your character, like your friends' characters, all of you, Andre. You guys all had awesome, good
No,
like,
Andre.
characters. But
Vibes.
but like anytime someone would pick up a dagger, would go kill the paladin, and it would be all three of them just like whispering at the table, it's like kill the paladin. And like DeVito picked who was my cleric, picked up the knife, made the save, and just they were whispering like kill the paladin, and then kill yourself. Kill yourself and then kill the paladin. It was just stuff like that. It was just I was dying because the way they did it was hilarious.
The thing is, there's a lot of things that I don't know about this world as a player that you guys do because
Yeah.
I've never played in the world. So like when we first ran into this knife, I had no idea what it was
Okay.
or what it
that's
could do.
This is the second time we've run into the knife, by the
Oh,
way.
Wait, so
no.
Anyways.
Like the seventh.
No,
Maybe
no,
like
in
after
this
we go
case.
through character stuff, we should jump back to that like previous campaign.
Yeah.
What all the things that we try to reference because we do reference and talk about that stuff.
Yeah.
And we just
Yeah,
kinda
but
gloss over
another
it.
thing that actually Kenzie brought up with Matt was like this is way in the past from
Yeah.
the other campaign, and so it was like Becheron is not in this time period is not an
It's not-
evil god, is a
It's not the
neutral.
It's a neutral god. It's not the
And
best
so it's
god
like-
you guys know. And
I can understand why Mittens hates Becheron because she has more of a religious standpoint than anyone else.
You also got to remember that like, that was never clarified to us.
Yeah, I know.
There was
That's why I'm clarifying now because that was a
I asked
ca-
about it. I was
That
like,
is called
okay.
There's a-
metagaming because we're all terrible
Well,
people.
no.
But it's like you guys understand the world from I don't know how far in the future, but a thousand years in the future.
Yeah.
So it's like things have changed, but it was like for us who've played in that previous world, it's like we still think of it then instead of
Well,
it now.
I like to look at it this way: when the info like that feels like it should be kind of common knowledge
Mhm.
is not explained in the campaign, you try and make sense of it with the knowledge you do know, even if it's from past campaigns.
And that's why I wanted to do like
Q&A.
mini episode, a Q&A, but like even like mini episodes during break of like I was gonna call it Lores, Legends, Legalities,
Yeah, that
where it's
would
like
be really cool.
a 5 minute. It was like okay during break we're gonna have a 5 minute thing where it's like pre-recorded of talking about what the Yagamoth are, what the Tenjungi are,
Yeah.
the Five Sisters, and just the knowledge that
Of the lady, the dagger.
yeah, it's like things that are general knowledge in his world that us as a player, but also the viewers should understand.
Yeah.
But Matt needs to been
Write it
busy,
down.
Yeah.
and he needs to write it down.
Which is fair. We
Okay.
kind of all have been.
We can move on.
I was
overworked
gonna
every day
ask.
and
You're good.
underfed.
You can go ahead and ask.
Alright.
No?
Let's hear
So
about
yeah, Bjorn has changed quite a lot. And correction from when we were talking before, he was a hermit for his background, not a sage.
Okay.
The hermit gets his discovery from when they were just out and about.
Mm-hmm.
And I was basically found the original tower where it was vanished. But when I make a character, I try to plan them out up to level 20.
Mm-hmm.
You planned that for Snake? Sorry, I'm going back to the last campaign. Go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Incidentally, I kind of did that too for Fernando, but I have like 4 or 5 different ways that could go. So
I got up to like level 5 with Key, and now I'm just kind of winging it.
I fly this.
I always wing it, guys.
Anyway, let's get back to Bjorn.
So originally with Bjorn, I had planned for him to only take 3 levels of Druid and do the rest in Barbarian. And that has swapped completely. Now my plan for him is just those 5 levels of, no,
3 levels?
3 levels, yeah, just the 3 levels of Barbarian, and the rest is Druid. To get those bigger forms, I've talked with Matt and gotten approval for a few feats. So it is taking up a feat in order to get some of these other abilities I'm going to be showing off later on. But it is going to be really good for what Bjorn is doing. His whole thing, being a moon druid, is that he's spent a lot of time just alone. He moon druids generally just walk around in nature by themselves. Don't really interact with much with other people. But when he found this discovery about Hadoth, he needed to tell people, he needed to warn people, so he went to civilization where he's not quite comfortable.
That's right.
He'd rather be a bear. And most people don't like a bear walking around in a city.
Trinket.
Yeah. Exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what level did druids get the unlimited wild shape again?
That's level 20. Or
Which-
18, I think.
You won't reach if you take the
No.
3 levels of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But because he's a moon druid, he gets them recharged with a short rest.
Yeah, all druids get a recharge with
Oh.
short rest.
Yeah, but it's...
You get to be able to change with a bonus action
Bonus
instead
action,
of a. That's
yeah.
what it is.
But it's... That level 20 ability is just so amazing, because, like, not only do you have unlimited wild shapes, but your wild shapes now also no longer have a time limit.
Mm.
So if you want, you can totally abandon being humanoid at all.
Transcendence.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Aaron, you got anything
Yeah.
else? Anyone got questions for him?
Yeah.
So where did you come up with the concept?
Oh, it was a joke off of his name, the Barbarian. We just found that in a post somewhere and be like, yeah, that's a fun concept, let's just make it actually.
Does Bjorn, like, does the name Bjorn actually mean anything?
Yes.
Or is it just a cool name?
It's Swedish for bear.
Of course it is.
That's awesome.
Of course it is.
So wait, Overwatch. So is Torbjorn being Thunder Bear?
I think so.
It
Yeah.
makes it really cool.
Oh my
I
god.
actually think so. Yeah.
Wow. Huh. Okay.
Things that make you go, I
Thunder
wonder.
Bear. Okay.
Oh! Oh, that's not Thunder... Oh. I'm sorry.
Right.
I could be totally wrong with like my translation of that.
Well, isn't he Swedish?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Swedish.
it is Thunder Bear.
Torbjorn!
That makes sense. Like that makes Torbjorn 10 times.
Now, what does Bridget mean for his daughter?
Brigitte?
Brigitte, yeah. Brigitte. Because she's.
I think that's just a name.
The bridge that crosses.
Oh, usually, unlike American names, they usually try to use actual naming schemes with meanings.
The high one or strength?
Understandable with strength.
Also, based off of the mythical Celtic goddess of Bridget.
Yeah.
What's the last name on that? Lindholm.
Okay. To Overwatch we go!
I have gotten distracted.
I knew this would happen, don't worry.
Oh, of course it would happen. It's us. You have me at the table. If I don't sidebar, someone else will.
Lime tree.
The Thunder Bear lime tree?
And the strong lime tree.
I'm
No,
wondering-
Lindholm is Lind is where lime tree comes from, and home is home. So it's where they built their home.
So Thunder Bear lime home?
Their home is
The home of
in a
lime.
Ah.
forest of lime trees.
Okay.
That's what it's.
And that's where bears roam. Like, it all comes...
That's where Thunder Bears roam.
Apparently.
Alright,
Okay,
so Tag...
So I came up with the character concept because the last character I had, as a lot of people around the table know, was a necromancer who never got to use any of his necromancer abilities.
He was also a Jägermoth.
Yes, he was also a Yagamo. That really wasn't important.
Or
But
was it?
No.
it never really came into play.
I mean,
Anyone.
you were targeted by many Jägermoth assassins.
Yeah, but even then,
Like we are now.
it kind of just barely came into play. It didn't have like a special book that you had, or
That's not burnt
like
to a
no
crisp.
one even really reacted to it all that often.
I would like to say DeVito did his part.
Yes, by spilling the beans.
You could shut That was out of my hand.
I know.
I had to make a freaking D100 roll.
I know.
And it was I got drunk one night and told somebody. Not out of character, it was just, it happened. Because dice.
So the concept I had for him was that he was a necromancer to fight necromancers. And the moment I introduced him into the game, Matt stopped throwing undead creatures at us. So that was the only that's the only time he would ever use necromancy, so he never got to use it. And so I got permission from Matt to swap him to a battle lizard, which
War Wizard?
War Wizard, which made me fall in love with the fighting wizard concept. And I decided
also
to just,
counterspell.
and counterspell. I love counterspell. But I decided to just go all into that with this character because it started out as kind of like an afterthought with Peregrine, and for this character I wanted it to be the main thought. And so, I made him a blade singer. I didn't really plan like each step from level 1 to 20. I do know where I kind of want him to go, where I really wanted him to focus on like teleportation and crowd control. He's ended up focusing a lot more on fire than I was expecting, but it just keeps coming in handy.
Wait, is he wearing that? I'm gonna burn it.
Like being able to basically scuttle that entire ship with just 3 uses of firebolt, would just be sitting there. It's like, maybe this cantrip's kind of broken.
No, it's just you.
No, it's just me. Okay, I love wizards and spellcasters because I love finding combos in the spells that do things that shouldn't happen.
Combo breaker.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's I love getting these really squishy caster characters in the fights that they shouldn't win, and then they just mop the street with their spells. It's a lot of fun. I really was not intending Caleb to kind of be what has kind of resulted with him being like the moral center of the party, which you laugh at. I laugh at because he was not supposed to be that. But without the lack of a paladin and having a smuggler, a bear, an assassin,
2 rogue.
warlock rogue, our conquistador.
I'm not really necessarily a problem in
No,
this case.
you're not. And then our mentally shut down Elegrin.
Where did mentally shut down come? Hold on, I'm gonna sidebar this again. Where did mentally shut down come from? I'm kind of curious.
Because he doesn't care what happens. He just wants to see it.
Yeah. He has no
He has
ties.
He doesn't
absolutely
care
no
that the world's
emotions.
burning. He just wants to be there to document it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Literally watchers from Marvel.
And if you've
Yeah.
heard Matt describe whenever he kills someone, he is kind of creepy.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
no, absolutely.
whenever Connor describes it, when Matt does it, there's a lot more yelling
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
and even more emoting.
Yeah.
Either way,
Or
it's
it's
kind
not
of
just
creepy.
Matt. Matt always yells at him
Yeah.
about everything in combat.
It hurts my ears.
That's why I have a heavy compressor on Matt.
He doesn't have a
help me.
compressor.
I know.
By the way, this is a weird sidebar. I've had a lot of people tell me that our videos are really quiet.
It's kind of hard. It's mainly because of those 2 mics.
Okay.
Because Matt gets this mic all to himself, so this mic is very prominent. But I'm trying to share those, and these are just like normal handheld mics. They're supposed to be mics that are right here, like at concerts or on stage when you're holding a mic.
Right.
They're
They're
supposed
not
to be
meant for
right
this
here. They're not
distance.
meant for this distance.
Okay.
But the mic I want to get for you guys is similar to this one. This one is $200.
Yeah.
I don't have $400 to spend on new mics.
In other words, guys, send money.
I mean, I can take an extra 3 hours to download the video, edit it, and then render it and then upload it, which will make it sound better, but downloading takes a while.
Yeah.
Then
No, I was just giving feedback.
yeah, I understand they're quiet and they're also sounding a bit tinny. I also heard. But it's mainly because of this is a home setup. I don't have professional equipment.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
I mean, I try my best to make sure everyone sounds equal. That's why I'm constantly working with my soundboard, which the camera can't see. It's right here. I'm constantly messing with that. Most of the time throughout the game, I have these on. Mm-hmm. It's like because I'm constantly monitoring your sound and adjusting. I don't have it on now, so I can I have it set up. So.
Welcome back, Cat.
Okay.
Well, the studio cat is
Hey, we got someone on stream.
Yep,
Yeah.
and you just sent us a YouTube link because Yogi Bear film apparently.
That doesn't sound exciting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So sorry. Back to
Yeah,
you.
so,
Yeah.
once again, I was expecting, I really liked the idea of this wizard that was teleporting around the battlefield, messing with people and causing issues, and getting out of there before they could really get back at him.
What about Peregrine did?
No, he actually didn't tell. Well, he did teleport. Well, once again, like I was saying.
Blink.
Well, yeah, blank. But I'm
love cavalry's here.
like I was saying with this, I'm taking the idea I started with like halfway through Peregrine's life cycle, and making it the main idea.
Okay.
I can't.
Because
Sorry.
I very rarely get to play characters, so when I find a character concept I want to explore more, I tend to do it, even if it's kind of a rehash of a character I played recently.
By the way, stream. TDM's a different campaign on Fridays, I think.
Yes,
It's not streamed, but
No, it's not streamed. I play it in my basement with a lot of these same people.
Yeah.
At the very least, these two.
I was in that one, and then work and life became a thing,
Okay.
and I couldn't do that anymore. It was really sad.
All right.
And obviously his priorities were straight.
Yeah.
So
I'm just
back
gonna say now that we have people watching. Hello, people. We are doing a special Q&A episode. If you want to ask questions to our players, since our DM is not here, you can ask them in chat. I'll sort through them and ask the best ones that come through. And so please feel free to ask our characters any questions you want.
And then it might be good to go through and at least give a brief synopsis of what our characters are to chat.
No, we might do that, but
Right,
we're
well,
still
yeah.
going through.
But just to kind of finish up what I was saying was, I never intended for him to try leading the party at all. He was supposed to be the loose cannon.
Mm-hmm.
You have enough of those.
Exactly. But then there was no more. There was no stick in the mud.
Mm-hmm.
So I took on the role of the stick in the mud.
We had too many attackers, not enough defenders.
So, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So where does Caleb come from?
So I was kind of I was trying to come up with a name, and that one I just kind of landed on just by saying random words in my head, and I liked the sound of it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really come from anywhere that I'm aware of. It kind of stuck, and Erahelia is a translation into Tolkien Quenya of a name that I've used as in multiple games so far, which is Dawn Tracker.
Isn't that also like your Discord username?
No, that's Star of the
Or-
Sage.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was Overwatch.
Yes.
Wizard.
Yes.
Nonetheless, I've seen your
Yeah,
username.
but I've used that name in fantasy games, in MMOs, since like junior year of sophomore year of high school. It just kind of stuck around. I use it less and less now, just because it's it's
less things to sign up for inside
Oh,
the
yeah.
show.
Yeah, so but this is like I was going to use Dawn Track, and then it's like it sounds like a gamer tag, not like a character name. So
It could have been a surname. You could have been Caleb Dawn Tracker
yeah.
Or a title.
or a
Yeah,
title,
but-
Caleb.
But Erahelia worked out well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyone else got a question for him?
I think the cat has a question, which is why are you holding me? Let me go.
He's purring. He's happy.
Those white eyes, like the white eyes and the fact that I can see the cat breathing.
He's purring. He's happy. That's the rule.
All right, let's go with Nero. Wow.
Well.
Oh, you're just gonna turn your stream off.
It's that time again. So, as you know, Nero is a sea elf cavalier. And one of my basic mottos when making characters is I love making characters that in character concept are just outlandish to each other. And for Nero, I couldn't, when originally making the character, I thought it was really, I'd never heard of a sea elf cavalier before. And just the idea of a sea elf, on a mount, and then, of course, Shellington turned out to be the mount. Sorry, I'm watching the cat, 'cause this is way more interesting than I was.
I put it on the table. It's not usually allowed on a table.
Yeah, but,
There he goes.
yeah, no, that's just where, the Sea Elf Cavalier came from, because I really wanted to play a Cavalier. And, then we'll play picking up a cavalier. I went, what like makes the least amount of sense being a cavalier, and I went Speacial. And then from there, like, I started just making other things. And that's where the smuggler background came from, was because I in another game, I tried making a criminal background character, and that game sadly ended early, so I never really got to explore it. So I thought I would try that again, which is why he's a smuggler. Because I thought, I want to be a criminal, but I want to be, like, not a threat. And I was like, smuggler's the most, like,
endearing?
yeah, like, the most, like, you can be both above and below the law at the same time somehow.
Thank you, Star Wars, for making that a thing.
Yeah. But, yeah. And then, freaking... Oh, yeah?
You know what race that would make even less sense as a cavalier? The Aarakocra.
The Aarakocra.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, the freaking winged people?
Yeah, the bird people who can actually fly.
I would be obsessed with flying, though.
Dagger.
Can't stab me for it, right?
But, that's another thing. And so when I was coming up with the name for Nero, Nero is Marvel's version of Aquaman. And I went
That's
CL.
Namor.
Namor? Yeah, it was close enough.
Nero is like Nero is a Roman emperor.
I know.
Yeah.
There, Tay,
Incidentally, you should.
you might not know this. Nero has been used as a name for multiple different people, not just an
It's
emperor.
also the name of the troll in Fablehaven.
Oh yeah. But yeah, so Nero.
For a moment, I was going to say it was the captain for
That's
20 Guys
rather
Leaving the
well.
Seas. Wait, no, that's Nemo.
So,
You should
as you can
totally-
tell, I was already wrong in my first assumption for naming him Nero. And then Glaucus is actually what the specious name for aquatic slugs are, is Glaucus. Oh, I didn't help my case, did I?
No, are you saying you're named after a sea slug?
Yeah. Well, kind of. It's actually the blue dragon, whatever, which is technically a sea slug, but they're beautiful and they eat manowars. And then take the poison from manowars and make it more deadly and use it on other things. But yeah, that's where Glaucus comes from.
So it is a very lethal sleeve slug.
Yes, it is a very lethal sea slug.
I thought you had named it after your desire to actually have a D&D character with a gun.
Glaucus.
The gun wasn't in the cards at the beginning.
And
was
then
a
it
absolute-
happened, and I was like, wow, that's just kind of on
Yeah.
point.
Nero is our walking arsenal at the moment.
Yes, he is.
Between him and
Yeah, between him and
I don't have
Fernando.
anywhere else to put weapons,
I-
conceivably.
I have a bag of holding.
Wait, I'm sorry, you're saying that the two
On me.
fighters are a walking arsenal? Who would have imagined?
So between having a really big sword on my back, a rapier on one hip, a parrying dagger on the other, plus an additional 2 short swords on my back,
I think
and a crossbow. That
I think
have
he has you
somewhere.
beat by numbers, but not by diversity. Because I have
And
13 daggers.
A throwing dagger, hunting knife thingy in my boot.
Yeah, but like, other than that, Nero, which we did talk about this, but no one else went into it. Nero's actually 207 years old.
Oh, yeah. Caleb, if I remember correctly, is like 150.
By the way, Nero should totally learn how to play the fiddle.
Why?
I don't get that one.
Roman Emperor Nero.
Fiddled when Rome burned.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what? I thought he just watched the city burn. I didn't know
Is
he played a
that
fiddle
he was
doing it.
playing the fiddle as he watched Rome burn.
Oh.
Yeah, he's guilty.
And
also
for
added
history
singing as
references.
an Olympic sport.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. We have it now. It's just called Do You Have Talent or whatever the hell that show's called.
America's Got Talent.
Yes, that
Or
one.
British has got
Or
talent.
talent.
Or,
Or there's
Anyway,
actually a South African
I'm
Got
gonna
Talent. That
Stop
was,
sidetracking on that one. But like on that one, just I mean Nero, I make a character, and then later I figure out what the character's about as a person. Because like I had a full backstory written for Nero, I had a smuggler name, and all of that immediately got thrown out the window. So I have no idea what his backstory
was that
is.
when we waxed you or before?
I think it's when he woke up in the stocks.
Yeah, that's kind of the point where I went like, well, freak, how did I end up here? I don't know. Because I don't know why I ended up there. That's something I still haven't talked to Matt about.
I still have no idea why I went to that city to begin with.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Yeah. Questions for Matt when we see him again. But
I literally just signed the contract to stick with the party.
yeah, I would like to say one thing. So, chat, believe this or not, Nero's hair color is a seaweed green. You'll never know that fact again. Because they took my, well, not they, but like,
Excuse me, we entered you into a drinking contest. It's not
Yeah,
our fault
you said
can't
you
hold
could
your
win.
liquor.
no, I didn't. I specifically said I was going to lose. And guess what? I lost.
I didn't say it was our fault you couldn't hold your liquor. However, you did make us quite a bit of money.
You stole a bunch of money. You could have done that without my help. Anyway, I just wanted to say that. And then, yeah, as freaking they keep saying, my freaking arsenal. When I made Nero, I made this character with the intention of literally only using a lance. I didn't care how dumb it was. I didn't care the downsides to it. I made him because I wanted him to, like, basically Fire Emblem, have one weapon he uses, and that was going to be a lance. And then I stole the family sword and went, dang, this thing's awesome.
But
And
it's got
use that.
insane.
And then you got a gun.
And then I got 3 guns.
3 guns. You gave one to
Yeah,
Mittens. That's
I
right.
gave one to Mittens.
I gotta go.
Look, if I could have taken the cannon the dude picked up, I would have taken it. Like,
What's that gun from Fallout?
oh,
The broadsider
Oh, the broadsider from 4. Okay.
from Fallout 4. The broadsider just.
But like,
Poof.
I was going to die hard, only use the lance. And you notice that in the first couple episodes, it keeps coming up, I only had a lance as a weapon.
Mhm.
No sword, nothing else, just a lance. And then it was freaking when he gave me the family, well, when I stole the family sword, was when I went, well,
And you make fun of Fariel for trying to be a rogue.
When you acquired it by illicit means.
the family was dead, and as far as we knew, there was no other family members.
Fine,
It technically was free resources that anybody could have taken. I just happened to be the first one to get there. Which was my favorite thing, because he, like, was recovering from almost getting eaten by a dog. Mittens was trying to, like, calm everybody down, and Nero walked past all of them into the house, shut the door, and proceeded to loot the place. No one cared.
I wasn't there to care. I was
Yeah,
being
you were-
treated with holy magic.
Okay,
yeah.
that's one thing. I wasn't expecting Nero to die 5 episodes in, or however long.
I keep forgetting because you didn't stay dead. Not even because of our cleric.
No, it was because of our cleric, because she wasn't there. Matt rolled it.
Exactly.
He was only mostly dead.
Yeah, like, I wasn't expecting Nero to die that fast, doing what any
That-
fighter
yeah.
should have
Yeah.
done, which was front line.
That fight was a tough fight, like
Yeah.
with the
Necrotic
the
dogs.
necrotic dogs.
Two-headed dogs.
Yeah, with the necrotic dogs and
At
not being able to
level
heal from
1,
that, we were level
2?
3.
Were we level
I
3
think
already?
we're level 2.
I feel like we were level 2.
Either way, we were not potent.
Didn't we?
Yeah, we were level 2 at least. It was after we fought the
No,
dragon.
yeah, but we were level 2 when we fought the dragon.
Yeah.
We weren't
Yeah,
level
so-
1 for long.
But the fact
And so after we fought the dragon, yeah, we fought a dragon on level 2.
And again, Nero and whoever else was in that breath weapon immediately got knocked down the second it happened, okay? Like, I got one shot from it, full HP by the dragon's breath. It was like, oh, sorry, again, we're bashing on Matt and he's not here. But like, yeah, that one, ugh.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing with Matt and any DM, you're supposed within the first few episodes, you're supposed to create an event that will kind of unify the party, and it's like
All the events seem to scatter the party.
yeah, it's like you think about it, it's like you want this party, you want these players and their characters to stay together till level 20.
Yeah.
So you have to create an event that they will bring them together. And so far, all the events he's tried to bring us together, we've just kind of not scattered, but we haven't really united yet as a
Yeah.
party, and that's not completely Matt's fault, and that's not completely all for our fault.
There,
But it's just
the
like,
characters don't mesh
yeah, the
well.
characters don't mesh.
yeah, like I'm trying, and that's actually something I wanted to say to her when she was talking about like how she feel like people. I hope because Nero is actually trying because because like Nero's whole thing, his whole thing is yes he's a smuggler and yes technically he's a criminal, but like he's on a contract, and when he's on a contract he has to fulfill it. That's his thing. He is not on this one willingly, which is why he's always bickering about it. But like he completes a contract. And our contract is to keep Credence safe. And freaking, of course, when Credence is taken, the first thing we see is that Shalia brought him back. Which is specifically why I went through, like, okay, I have an extra pair of clothes, I will give these to her. Okay, now they have to go down on their own again.
That bugged me.
Yeah, that bugged me too.
Oh, that bugged everybody. But freaking
I'm glad I was able to follow.
Yeah.
that is specifically why I armed her as much as I could. I was like, look,
I think everybody gave her at least one thing.
I just told him to follow.
Yeah.
I
I
gave
don't-
her a sword.
I
thought
don't
you-
have
I gave
much
her my
to
rapier.
give.
Yeah, you gave her the rapier. Someone gave her a crossbow. You gave her the
I
crossbow.
gave her the clothes, I gave her a crossbow, I gave her the bolts. I went through everything I had and went, what would you like, except for the guns?
I gave her some daggers, even though she had her nice new daggers.
Yeah.
Because like literally,
We
most of-
kitted her out like real good.
If freaking at that point, if I thought about it, I should have
them
just
as much as I could.
Mhm.
I went with them as a spider.
Yeah, like
I'm very scared for this next combat.
at
Yeah.
this. Oh yeah, this next combat's gonna suck.
Oh, what's the next comment?
The sword. The sword. That
The
the king.
The king's
Like
sword that was
touching the
stuck in.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah.
You were the one who started it. How did you remember
Okay,
this?
so
Boy.
it's been a couple weeks, and I I know I keep making seemingly foolish decisions.
But you know, it
What's
keeps
your
things
wisdom
interesting.
score?
So
My wisdom this time is actually average.
10.
10. Gotcha.
But the way I look at it is all these hooks and intriguing items are thrown into the world. I can't not explore them.
Mhm.
I can't.
I can't just like, oh, this is interesting. I'm not going to touch it for fear. It's like, no, I know the decision I'm making will probably get me killed. I can't help myself.
I just.
curiosity killed the day.
Yep.
Every time.
Usually my saves save me.
Which actually, now that we kind of gone through like the
Can we
table,
just walk back down the stairs?
No, the thing got summoned.
little bit of last campaign stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, we're talking about Tay's first character?
well, no, I just remember the dragon statue.
Oh,
Tate's
yes.
first character.
No, this is a
Oh, you
second
survived
character.
that one. You just buck naked afterwards.
Yeah, naked elf.
The reason I was so terrified of the dragon statue in the Forge of Fire
Story time, guys.
the last time there was a statue very similar to that, I tried using fire magic to break a box free, and it released the magic Flames of Chanja, which basically make it so whatever gets hit by it never existed.
So it's a
Which-
platinum dragon, basically.
Which
Which
wiped out, which basically it's Matt's version of Bahamut.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But it wiped out all of my gear, including my wizard's spell book. The magic soul gem he was holding, that was holding like 400 evil souls. And we just didn't know how to get rid of it. It made it so that never existed.
No, we didn't have that one.
Yes, we did.
That one got stolen, didn't it?
No, that happened later after Matt returned it because he realized he just ripped his world a new one.
Oh.
Incidentally, did the gem basically destroying the world, or did it destroy the
No,
souls as well?
So that happened. I was like, oh no, and Matt's like, what's wrong? It's like, I had the soul gem, Matt. It's like, oh no.
It's always a bad day when the DM says, "Oh no."
Yeah, but it wiped out everything, including that soul gem and also the shard of Kellenvor's crystal citadel I had that are using the American focus.
Again, did you have it at that point?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It wiped out everything, and it sucked. But
Including all of his clothes. By
yes,
the way.
including all my clothes. For some
Incidentally,
reason,
I was the unfortunate soul who had to catch him when he fell because I was the barbarian in the party.
So for some reason in Matt's game, elves keep getting naked.
Yeah, it was
Unknown
me this
reason.
time!
For unknown reasons.
Scandalous.
No, so again, last campaign, before even I joined that campaign, apparently they had a naked elf who, they were escaping a prison, and for some reason he was naked.
That was the first session before even I joined.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
And then later, Tay's character, Yagamoth, had the whole statue disintegrate everything he was holding. And that was the second time there was a naked elf. And then
No,
this
that was like the
campaign.
fifth time.
No, what happened? When did that
There
happen?
was a bunch of times where, for unknown reasons, I just woke up naked.
I don't remember those.
Usually I'd gotten captured at some point.
That was probably before I joined.
I,
Is
And
the
I
only
woke
na-
up naked and captured, and I'm just like, what?
okay, I don't remember those, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna move past that. And then this
Not my
campaign,
question.
freaking these two got me the drinking competition. Of course, they stripped me down naked, and then freaking.
Anyway, we didn't strip you down naked.
No, I didn't say you. I said they. I blame you.
Yeah, but that's why
I got
I'm
so much gold
terrified.
from that place, though,
I know.
and we lost it all.
I'm sorry.
How'd you lose it all?
She had all the
I
gold
got
when she got
captured?
kidnapped.
Oh,
Because remember the card
Oh,
game that I
God.
played?
Including the gold.
Because remember when your turtle got captured, I was playing the card game with the guy that you drunk against?
Yeah.
And I beat him, so he had to go get your turtle from the place I wasn't at.
Where's that?
But I beat him even further that he gave me all of his gold.
Oh wow.
And that was like 500 gold pieces worth. We were loaded from the
800
beginning.
gold on me, and it's all gone.
I wish there was like some kind of reward for all the good deeds we've been doing. Because
You keep refusing it.
no, I don't. It never
Or you
gets
don't
offered.
ask.
I keep trying to loot, Matt keeps telling me no, because the city's on fire, and these people need it.
It's the perfect time to loot. What are you talking about?
Freaking times of turbulation when people are running around mad. That is the perfect time to
Time to
start
go
looting.
looting.
That's why I was terrified of the dragon statue. Is a very similar dragon statue had made a previous character lose everything.
Yeah.
He gets mad at you looting, but I can walk through the middle of a Tenjumi city picking up emeralds.
I know! Like, I have tried
All you
so
have to do
many
is sell
times.
the gems you have, and we.
I know, I have a lot of
Okay,
gems.
okay, I have another real fast because I love these guns, but I have a lot of problems with them. And my latest one that I have realized, which makes me annoyed, is as a fighter, I supposedly start the game with proficiency in all normal weapons and all that, and technically guns would be considered a special weapon. So I'm not proficient in guns. The only way I can get proficiency with guns is to spend a feat to get the weapon master, which gives me options of 3. However, I am proficient in all other weapons, which means I am spending 1 feat to become proficient with 1
There's
weapon.
another way to become proficient in the player's handbook. It's downtime. You have to spend a year and like 100 gold.
But when do we get
Jeez.
downtime with Matt?
Yeah.
I've been trying for 100 and some hours, and so far that's all I got. But yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just another thing with guns, where like I love them so much, but like there's so much drop. Also, freaking rolling a 19 on the die to hit, and then finding out I rolled under a 15 on the D100. Because as I don't know if I've mentioned on stream or not, but when I roll the gun, I roll a D100, and if it's under a 15, the gun jams, which is what happened when I then dropped the gun and it went off.
Mm-hmm.
If I roll 1, the gun misfires and deals like triple the damage it would normally deal on me.
That
But-
sucks.
But like, there's nothing worse than rolling a 19 and then noticing the gun jams, and it's like I hit, but I don't hit because the gun didn't fire. So I wasted an action doing nothing.
It's kind of like a
I
weird
meant to show
quasi
that.
disadvantage. Like rolling at disadvantage
It's, like
almost.
that's the weird thing. It's not even disadvantage. It's just like
It's rolling to hit on your roll to hit.
yeah, it's so weird. And like I know why it's there. It makes sense, but I didn't realize how disheartening it was when it happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. His gun rules are different from other gunners that I've seen.
Yeah, but like that was another one where it's like to become proficient with the weapon. It's just, at this point I've just written it off the table because it's just unless something magical happens, it's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of weirdness though with weapons and stuff, so my intentions with my character from the start was basically to play with Mike Zoro, like full on let's go with the rapier and try to go crazy with that.
Yeah,
And
you're
then
fantasy.
magic weapons started coming up.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden I'm going from a straight up duelist to trying to do dual wielding, which honestly will be cool, but it's
Well, let's not forget your great sword.
yeah.
Yeah.
That thing's a little bit broken.
Yeah.
A lot of it broken. And I'm not sure I feel completely comfortable having it most of the time.
Well, we've had to counsel Josh a little bit to calm down with
Dear
that.
Lord. So it's not even Matt. I specifically talked to Matt about this, and he's explained why, and I understand. But like, you're. I guess let's quickly cut back to something else. And again, Matt, I'm sorry, I'm trying really hard not to bash on you, but you're not here. It makes it really easy. So,
We love you, man.
We really do. We're really enjoying
we
this
love
game.
you, but I need to pull out this letter. I think we need to talk about a couple things. And I thought the best way
This
to
is
have
an intervention.
the best way to have an intervention is by
when you're not here.
not being here.
That makes no sense, man.
I know.
We know he's going to watch the stream at some point.
But just
Because he was going to
attunement
want to
times.
know what we said.
Attunement times so far for this game have been the oddest I have seen in any RPG I've played so far.
Yeah.
And that's just because I can understand bumping up attunement times. In normal D&D,
It's 1 hour and that's
yeah.
it.
It's
One-
a short or sometimes even a long rest.
Yeah, and
But that's
now
it's like
for
400 plus hours.
Yeah, for this, not even that one. So for the Absorbed Element Sword, which I constantly forget I have because Tay gave it to me, but it's a sword of absorb elements. It reduces damage by 3 points or something.
So it does it basically does the absorb elements spell, which I have right here. So it captures some of the incoming damage, some of the incoming energy, has the effects on you and storing up your next melee attack. The resistance to the triggering, so it basically has the damage type. And in the spell, you can add a d6 of that damage type to your next melee attack. With this one, it's a d4.
And that sword takes 30 hours to attune to, I
Yes.
think. And it's so that's
This is a spell I started with.
That's a first level spell?
Yep.
I would call that a common magic item.
No, uncommon.
It would
All
be
the
uncommon?
common,
Common.
all the common stuff, like
Common
the cloak
stuff.
of billowing,
Yeah.
the armor of gleaming.
Common-
Honestly, I'd really love to get a cloak of bill.
Oh, I know. I want a cloak of billowing. I would waste my bonus action on that fully willingly to make that bill during dramatic speeches.
But yeah. But so not that crazy of an item, but it takes 30 hours of attunements. And that's just to get that. And it's a short sword, or it's a long sword, which I have the family sword. So the family sword, and I've talked to Matt about this, and actually he took it last game, and I assume something's going to happen, which I imagine he's going to
It's
walk
going
back.
to double
No,
the
yeah,
achievement
no,
time.
exactly. Just imagine he's going to walk up, tell me it's doubled, and then just rip the card in half and suddenly go, you don't have the sword anymore. But I love you, Matt, by the way. But that sword...
Really feels
Not
like
bitter
no.
at all.
No bitterness. Well, it's all bitterness. Let's be honest. I smile a lot. And that's to counteract all the hatred I have inside.
Of all the flavors in the world, he chose salt.
I chose salt that was somehow also dipped in cherry. We're not quite sure how.
He chose the salt and vinegar chips.
Those are disgusting. Barbecue all the way.
Yeah.
Salt and vinegar is delicious, thank you very much.
Anyway, so but the family
It
sword
hurts,
that I
but it's
have.
delicious.
The hours come out to, because I think it was 720 hours, which comes out to 1 month of straight attunements. So one life of Nero's lifetime, which isn't that bad, but given our game and how fast we've currently been going, requires 1 entire month to have been dedicated to getting to this one sword.
And considering how much downtime we've gotten, he probably will be attuned to that by the end of the game.
I have so far gotten, I want to say I finally hit 100 hours.
No, I think you hit 50.
No, I hit 100.
I hit 100 because we had that week of travel,
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
I finally...
which I went through all your packs.
So, I don't see how, because there was no check. And
No, it's our passives. It's
Oh,
doing
It was my sleight of hand versus your passive.
I mean, but still, there was no request for a list of our inventory.
I know. I kind of wish there was.
That's the
wasn't.
thing that bugged me about it, is there was no player knowledge of it.
I know.
I
I was gonna ask, but then Matt just kind of brushed it by, and so it's that's why I've.
Matt said if you asked when
Yeah,
you
if
had,
I
you
ask,
had to tell
but that
him.
was all right. Well, I'm gonna ask is what did your character have 5 episodes ago?
I know.
Yeah.
And so it's that's why I've never really brought it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
but it was more of I mainly did that just to see if I could. But it was against passive mainly because I didn't take anything as well.
Yeah.
If I took something, then it probably would have been a check.
Yeah.
But since I didn't take anything, it was a passive.
Just when you said that, I know what's in all of your packs. I'm just like, how?
There was a collective.
I made a roll like right at the
Oh,
very beginning.
Yeah, I'm sure you did, but I'm just sitting there. It's like, there's no way because of no lists were requested, nothing.
I think it's kind of the point why these like Nero and freaking Calum now sleep back to back at alternating shifts is because you said that, and I'm sorry we metagamed, but like the second you said we know what is I know is everybody's attack, that immediately went well frick. Now I like
we started doing that because we have
The sword.
sword.
yeah that's not key as fancy though as far as I know.
No.
Well,
Like which is funny because that's probably the most expensive thing in the universe at this point. But
I love.
Yeah, but I
Matt's
can't
like,
sell it.
yeah, that's the problem with extreme.
Which after we do this, I get to talk about Key for a bit, but
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so sorry. I forgot.
No one cares.
I'm in the DM chair, so it's a bit
I'm
different.
so sorry, man.
You're fine.
It's
but-
fine. He's not gonna last long anyway.
Not if he keeps doing what he's been
I might get shot.
doing. You might get stabbed.
Or devoured by some eldritch
Or you
horror.
will
One of the.
I've been really like so when you talked about trying to steal the reliquary that we were trying to destroy,
Yeah.
I was so ready. I had my spells queued up. I was going to teleport you and just drop you off the edge.
And probably into that little magic barrier that
Yeah.
tolerates anything that has metal on it.
And then I would have brought my half-orc character and bully.
I'm actually really excited for that halfway character. It makes me feel I need to kill you faster.
No.
If it doesn't come in this one, it'll be my character for the next campaign.
Yeah.
That's usually what I do. I usually plan my next character, and if I don't use him this one, it will be my next one. That's how Vith came to be. Except for that one was mainly because I didn't want to play Quill anymore.
Yeah.
Mainly because that group was.
I
ugh.
might just reuse my one-shot character because I
I'm-
have so much fun with it.
I'm really considering trying out the other spellcasters for my next character because I've done Druid and Wizard, and I've done 2 Wizards.
Warlock so far, even though I've only had one level, is nice, but it's a slow-paced one.
Yeah.
Because at level 1, I have the Pact of the Tome, so I have more cantrips, but I only have 1 spell slot.
Well, I really want to try Sorcerer.
Sorcerer is a fun one. You just have to remember your sorcery points.
Yeah.
Both of those together is a really good build.
All right.
Key.
I think it's
Yeah.
I'm sorry, dude. I
The
completely
main
get that.
attraction.
No.
No.
You are not the greatest showman.
Actually, I created Key to be not that noticed, mainly because I knew I had to do tech during the stream.
Yeah.
I had to do this. So it's like, okay, I'm going to create a character that doesn't have a lot of dialogue, that can easily go unnoticed. And I've always wanted, ever since I created a Kenku for a backstory that Kenzie had in one of my previous campaigns, I found Kenku, like I wanted to play a Kenku.
Right.
And so it's like, Kenku Rogue would be nice. And it's like, I'm going to create his backstory simple. His whole life, he grew up in a Thieves Guild, ever since from when he was born to when he left. So all he knows is
Stabby.
stabbing and stealing. He has never been in a city that he's just gonna walk in and do nothing. That's why he's always has sticky hands. And it's like, because that's all he knows. He's never grown up just having a normal life. He's only been a thief his whole life. And so it's like, but I did that, but also it's like, not a lot of dialogue, at least at the beginning. That way I could focus on the tech.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like, all right, need to make sure I connected him with Kenzie's character because I want to make sure that we work together because she's new to the group,
Fair.
and so we worked that in. And then his backstory is part of the Eldritch thing, why he knows about it. But
You gotta laugh when it turns out your Eldritch God doesn't like blood. This is the thing you've been doing.
And he's just like, no, man, this is gross. Stop throwing blood into my domain.
I asked for lemon juice. I sent you the store for a simple bottle. And you keep giving me blood.
Blood is not lemon juice.
but kind of like I planned up to level 5, and after level 5 I'm kind of winging it, but I'm planning to stick more to the rogue aspects. I mainly did a bit of Warlock, 1 because of his backstory, 2, Awakened Mind, so I can now speak to you guys. And I just get a bit more diversity because some of the rogue spells, like True Strike, gives me advantage. but most of the cantrips take an action, which sucks.
Oh, right.
But I can give myself advantage, which then allows me to get my sneak attack bonus because I have advantage. And so it's like I can give myself that bonus. I got the Blade Ward because I'm a squishy. And I was like, I got a guidance for my pick locking.
Are you at a high enough warlock level? Where, no, that's 3rd level when you can get like the augments, like the shadow armor and stuff.
You get invocations at level 2.
Oh, right, it is 2.
But some of them are required for certain packs, and some of them are level locked.
Well, one thing I gotta say, when I found the way to get my AC up to the levels I have, I told Matt, and I was like, please don't make this a Tauren situation where no one can defend because one party member has high AC.
And so now everybody at every
Well,
hit-
Blade Ward doesn't give up my AC.
Yeah.
It basically gives me rage.
Yeah.
It halves all slashing, piercing, and bludgeoning damage for 1 round.
But I tried so hard to not make it so that it was...
Detrimental to the party.
Yeah.
And then, of course,
My build is actually very similar. I have such a high health pool that it's very hard to actually do any
And
damage.
Key has a very low health pool. I think right now I only have like 29 health. I think I'm the second. Ferial has lower health than me.
Ferial has like 15.
Yeah.
I have about average, but for whatever reason, I've been pretty survivable. Like,
Yeah.
maybe I've just been insanely lucky, but
I've made the chinkiest wizard I've ever seen because I found that combo to get the high
Yeah.
The only
AC,
battles I ever
and I've rolled
played
max
is
on all of my hit dice. So I'm at 34. I should have 36, except I permanently lost that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
I just
Sorry.
really just,
yeah,
okay.
You're fine. I'm trying to think of what I was saying, but the name Key basically came up. It originally started with his name being Mimic. MYK, Mimic. And then it's like,
on the nose.
yeah. And then it's like, no. He's like, and then I was like, I need him to have just this random thing that he enjoys. And it's like, okay. And like a lot of the party, he enjoys secrets. And what holds secrets? Locks. And what unlocks a lock? A key. So my Key likes keys because keys
Still owe
unlock
you 4
secrets.
keys.
Yeah. So keys unlock secrets, and so his name is Key, but he doesn't spell it Key, he spells it Kie.
Not that you ever feel inclined to give them to him anymore.
I reminded him that of the 4 keys when I gave him the the 5 rings
I
symbol.
flat out, like, I pay what I owe. I have no money to buy you keys.
That is the funny thing.
It could be
Nero, one of his
The thing is that I
things.
made him-
his key.
I literally made him a wooden key a little while
Well,
back.
but I don't have whittling skills. I in a couple levels I'll have
Hey,
fabricate.
You want to know what
Which,
Shalia does
then you'll have-
time?
Because I want to make sure the 4 keys I give you are like really unique
Which I haven't
keys.
done in
Yeah.
a while.
Not like the 1 key you gave me that disappeared after an hour.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
That I paid you 100 gold for.
But because of that, I can now use identity.
Yeah, I know. But,
The original plan was Shalia would pay him with keys and then steal them back when he's sleeping, and then pay him back with the keys the next day.
And then he made the key ring.
Yeah.
But,
No, I stole Kieran's key ring, and he still hasn't noticed that.
Credences?
Yeah, I stole it from the wagon like before we even enter that one town. And it's like I have a
Matt
key.
probably has forgotten that you
Yeah.
stole that.
I have a key ring with like 5 keys from Credence, and this is like,
I'll have to say it happens. Like, Credence goes to unlock it. No, he doesn't.
no, he doesn't.
This might just be me because I'm up in the night a lot. But like, I'm using that term wrong. I know that now. But like, I have the weird feeling that it's gonna somehow turn out Credence is evil. Like I don't
Yeah.
know. Like this is just a weird prediction now. But like so far, Credence has turned from a nice Canadian into like conniving Canadian.
Oh, he's
And,
supposed to be Sweden.
Oh,
Swedish.
Swede.
He was supposed to be Swedish, but he ends up a bit Canadian.
he's
So he's our Canadian Sweden.
he's too focused on making the sword as impressive as
Well,
possible.
metagaming just a bit because Key was not there in both of them. When you guys went to visit the Chenjungi King,
Yeah.
he said he doesn't want the sword made.
No, no one
Yeah.
does.
The Yagamoth doesn't want the
Sword made.
Nobody wants a sword.
And
made.
so
I have
it's
no-
again metagaming, but still it's like, why are we making the sword of no
I have
race
no
wants it
intention of
made?
handing that sword over to Credence.
I do.
No.
Well, actually,
I know.
one person does, and it's the king that we started.
Yeah,
the
the
king.
yeah,
Well,
the king.
that's because Credence went, I'm gonna make you an awesome sword. He didn't say, I'm gonna make you a sword that literally will nuke this planet if done correctly. If done to his original plan before we found the Infinity Stones. Yes, they're the Infinity Stones, Matt. I'm
The
sorry.
Power Stones.
But like before that, the sword going to plan, the sword was gonna be basically a nuke. And now, with the new materials that we know of,
It's
Hydrogen bomb.
yeah.
It's a nuke that
Well,
can
actually-
snap half the population.
So,
We love you, Matt. I feel like we have to keep saying this.
so F-bomb?
Except it's not an F-bomb. It makes everyone else drop it.
Either way, I'm interested to see what plays out.
Yeah,
With
I
this
just
story.
Oh, yeah.
I
I
have
don't
the-
think any of us in the group really want it
no. So
complete either.
again, Nero is on a job. My job is to make sure Credence is alive and we get the work done. That is everything. That is what that is what Nero's job is, and that is what he does.
What I'm interested for how this is going to play out is that we signed, like, well, with the exception of Fariel, we all signed,
And Bjorn.
and Bjorn, we all signed basically a binding contract on
However,
this thing too,
The
which
person
I'm wondering
we
how
signed
that.
the contract with said we could break our contract anytime, and there was nothing
In,
that would
in
happen
fact,
to
he
us.
said at certain points, he said like it might come down to the point where I want you to break this contract.
Yeah.
He also holds the fear that we all do.
And again, this brings up the point that there has not been an event that has unified the party.
Exactly.
Even when Credence was
Gone.
kidnapped.
We were falling apart and bickering.
Yeah.
Well, yes, but we were bickering on our way to try and find him.
And it was like, I'm sorry to say, but the only reason we've kind of gotten this far down into the Dungeon of Greed, as I called it,
Well, yeah.
is because of
Actually obviated.
is we're going to catch the obfuscate. It's mainly because I'm like, I'm going to go down those stairs.
And none of you guys want him to go by himself.
Well, because with what I was saying, where I have no intention of just handing that sword over, it will probably be handed over after a talk and an explanation.
Yeah.
And figuring out our next move.
Well, let's be honest. The sword's going to be stolen before it even gets handed over.
Oh, I know, right?
Yeah, but probably not by Key. Key doesn't really care about that
'cause
sword.
it's really funny because like
Key only,
I just,
Key only cared about that sword to steal that sword at the
Where
beginning.
my character stands, she believes that sword would be in safer hands with the Agamoth. Because it doesn't work with what they want.
but so like because when I stole the sword back from Key, Matt's like, why do you think it's a good idea? It's like it's not. I just don't trust Key.
Well, the only reason Key had that blade was because he knew that you're going to take it to the king.
Yeah.
And it's like, and Fariel was actually the one to tell Key to take it because it's like we needed to get past that checkpoint and things weren't going the way. So it was.
I agree with it, but afterwards I was like, I need that back. I'm not just leaving it with you.
Yeah, well, Key doesn't want it, but he also doesn't want to give it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's okay with it not having it because he doesn't want it.
Yeah.
So that's why I haven't stole it back.
I still have one of your daggers.
Actually, no, you don't.
Yeah, I gave it to him.
You gave it to
Yeah.
him.
And
But
I'm
it
still
doesn't matter. I
aware
have
of it.
13 daggers. And now I have my Eldritch
I probably wouldn't
daggers.
care if it was the key dagger, but
True.
I don't think he really uses
No.
that one.
No, it was the one he stabbed me with,
Yeah.
which wasn't the key dagger.
You insulted my race.
I insulted the fact you couldn't fly. I didn't realize it was a race thing. I just thought you were an underperformer.
You insulted my race.
Any other questions?
Oh yeah, any other questions about Key?
Nothing from the chat, and unless you guys have questions about Key.
Why is he like that?
What happened in his life that brought? No, we already went over this.
That is a
Thieves Guild.
Thieves Guild, and things that happened in the Thieves Guild that made him run away from him is why he is the way he is and what he's doing. I do it. We did.
Oh, cool.
Welcome, Ancient Hunter.
Ancient Hunter 17 on Mixer.
Yeah, thank you for your subscription. That was cool.
Follow.
Follow, not subscription. We're not that big yet.
Not that
We
big
also
yet.
had a few other people go and drop some
Yeah.
stuff.
I forgot to turn the
Very
poll off, so.
Who's
So-
winning?
I don't know.
It was you, but we keep forgetting to
That's
announce
good. It's
it.
your family.
That was my fault. I'm sorry. I
No,
didn't.
that's-
That was not the intention. when
I forgot to reset the poll, and then I forgot to tell you that you had. So it's like next game.
Just vote for other people sometimes.
Next
not
ga-
here,
next
I just
next
thought
game,
so.
you'll get the advantage. You'll get that advantage.
Yeah, I just like but I don't think I have any other questions about Key.
Yeah.
Any
Yeah.
questions about anyone else?
Okay, can I just? I do have one thing.
Or here's an idea. Go ahead.
Okay, freaking. Shellington has turned into Trinket. Like
Yeah.
we keep forgetting about him, and like I totally meant to like I was gonna Cavalier with him, and then I found out most of my Cavalier abilities work off mounts.
Yeah.
Like almost all of them
And-
don't require a mount.
And a mount like that is irreplaceable.
No, like I wasn't expecting Shellington to be awesome. When I found out Shellington was awesome, I want to protect this, like you know, this star child.
And I
is-
think you've rolled the bear more than you've rolled
Yeah.
Shellington.
Honestly, I love the Cavalberry.
The
Dude,
cavalry.
Cavalberry is also mutually like
Mutually beneficial.
yeah, because I grant him evasion, which
Yeah.
if he's hit with an AOE attack, if he fails, he takes half damage. If he
Yeah.
saves, he takes
And
none
if he's
because
raging,
I'm
he already
riding
takes no
him.
damage. So with saves,
OP,
he takes a
please nerf.
quarter damage.
OP, please nerf.
Yeah, like no.
Oh no! With evasion, it's a fail half damage, save no damage.
Yeah.
With
Oh,
evasion.
okay.
So, like, yeah, it's one of those things that I realized that, and I was like, oh, that's good for survivability of mounts, because mounts get nothing in
Yeah,
5th ed.
That's
Yeah.
what bugs me. Like I can understand them not like really
Which,
using it in attacks.
Which module is the
Wait,
Calvary?
That's
Xanathars.
Xanathars.
Xanathars, that's why.
Yeah, but mounts don't get any increases in AC except unless you buy them parting, or even in health.
The only things is what the Cavalier gets. And, like, not even Cavalier. Cavalier, the only thing I get is I can redirect attacks from my mount to me. That is the only, like, mount survivability thing I
Yeah.
have. Other than that, the giving evasion to my mount, that is just a normal D&D trait that you can take, which is horseback or whatever. Mounted combat.
Mounted combat.
And the like a standard warhorse can be one shot by like a level 6 character.
Mm-hmm.
So
I know you think about it, a lot of times we're in dungeons or in small quarters where being a cavalier is. What?
Well, it could either be devastating or anyway, pushing that.
Never mind, guys.
No, go.
I was just thinking maybe we should describe what our characters look like because I don't think we've ever actually done that.
that's
He's
actually a
bald
very
because of you!
cool- We'll start with Josh.
Yeah. We are getting artwork. She just finished up another convention.
Yeah,
That
you know what? I gotta say though, that is another thing I'm annoyed about. That artwork, I was after the balding thing, so Nero's gonna be bald. Because of you.
The artwork I've paid her full. She's finally done with all her convention con seasons done for a few months. She just has a bit of work and then she can start on
But, yeah,
commissions.
the artist knows what our characters look like, but I don't think the
No,
audience.
the
Yeah,
audience.
that's
We never
awesome.
really just
Yeah.
even in episode 0, we never described what their
No.
characters look like.
So I can we can
So
go around.
yeah, well, let's just go around.
Let's
so.
start with Key.
Yeah,
'cause
let's
we,
start with Key.
we forgot you, so we'll start with
Well, I mean, he's a raven.
I'm a raven folk.
No, Raven's can fly.
Nevermore.
He's not a raven.
So Key is a Kenku. He is a raven folk, which is the Kenku. They're raven folk. They are flightless because their ability to fly, speak, and create was stolen from their ancient master.
So that is one question I have.
One question I've also brought up.
If their ability to create was removed, how were you writing created how are you creating sentences? In
If you notice, I kept my sentences short to like 1 or 2, and I always said that the handwriting was different. I was mimicking words.
Okay.
Okay.
I feel like I also asked this.
I never did like a full blown sentence. It was always a word.
Okay.
Okay.
There's never essays either.
Yeah. I was like, it's like
What now?
Eldritch.
Anyway.
Handwriting. What now? Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
But I think it's like I grew up in the Thieves Guild, so probably most of the handwriting
Yeah.
is hers. She probably taught me simple phrases that I can use when writing.
I missed that,
Yeah.
so I was sitting there saying, but wait, how?
I feel like it was never explained because I also asked this
Yeah.
question and never got the answer.
Yeah, I made sure to keep like never long. They're always short. One thing that he would know. They were never complicated things. They're always just like, what now? It's like this way, and they're probably all in either Shalia's or just random handwritings.
Dude, Thieves Can's gotta be oh, wait, sorry, that was sorry, family friendly. Thieves Can's gotta be hard for you because like
It's a bit actually easier because they're symbols, not.
like, it depends because I guess like with because in actual what is it
in the handbook
not even a handbook but in
conversation.
the book series it like is D&D Forgotten Realms. In Forgotten Realms it is actually like sign language, basically.
And in the player's handbook it says it's basically meanings in the middle of like you're talking to someone talking about one subject, but you're using thieves' cant to underlie another
thing.
But
So
if you notice, Key was
it's like
using
the
more
hidden code
clicks
in the
and
words.
My coffee is good. How is your muffin?
yeah.
Is that a code for something? No. In fact, you're a lot more fattening than you would imagine.
But yeah, but it's
See,
like
get smart.
but now he has awakened mind. He's able to
Yeah.
Just communicate.
communicate, which is another reason why I took Warlock, not because of backstory, but because I needed a way to
Talk.
communicate. But I took it further on, so at the beginning, so I had time to do this setup. But yeah, so Key is a Raven folk. He has they're black feathers, but they're on the blue side of the black, if you know what it means.
Okay, yeah.
Because you have the red,
Iridescence
yeah,
almost.
you have the red black and the blue black, if you know.
And the white black, which is like grays. and
Mm.
stuff.
Well, it's like we haven't made it's color theory. There's never in things like this. It's never true black. It's either a really really dark blue or a really really dark red.
Yeah.
It's funny because if you have a really really dark red and a blue light, you actually can tell. It's fun. But so it's like his feathers are on the blue side. So if you look at it, they kind of like the blue sheen,
Yeah.
but the black. And then he wears leather armor, a brown tunic with green trim. And then he has his. I took the charlatan background. I didn't mention that, but he basically gives him a second identity.
Yep.
So I'm thinking it's like Raven. Well, he already has the beak. Let's just tie a piece of fabric around that, put some goggles on, some nicer clothes, some awkward boots, and become Dr. Thalion Shmee, and become a plague doctor, which is his second identity. And and because of the charlatan, I have documents, contacts for that personality. So that one was fun. But he only stands about 4 feet tall. He's 13 years old. He has kind of golden eyes, or at least a golden ring around the eyes, just to kind of set him apart.
Fair.
But other than that, he's just Key. And now he hides everything in his because he doesn't have wings, but he still has feathers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like his thieves' tools and everything. He hides in his feathers in little nooks and crannies. He only carries a bag for like the spare clothes and everything like that. But now he has the bag of holding that he took from Credence.
In other words, if you gave him a hug, it'd be kind of prickly.
Yeah. But now he has the bag of holding.
That would
So
just be the knives.
so
Also,
he's a
very
lot.
bony.
He's very thin. And
The feathers puff you out a little bit, but once you actually get your arms around and give the hug, you realize like they fold in really far.
well, again, he grew up in a thieves guild, and he's young, so it's like even though it was a prominent and very apparently well-known thieves guild, he probably didn't eat a lot.
Yeah.
He only ate what he could take.
And even in that case, we still don't know really how he eats or drinks anything.
No.
And the beer is gone. But that's what Key looks like.
Okay. Cool. Who wants to go next?
Let's just
Yeah, let's practice with you.
go
So,
backwards the way we.
I have the official, in my own electronic handwriting, what Nero looks like. So, Nero is a male, which, go figure that one. He's 5'9". He had seaweed green hair. He's bald now.
Actually, it probably is starting to grow back.
No, it's been waxed.
It's been, like, I was basically tarred and feathered.
Yeah, but wax grows back. Like, even after you wax, it grows back, but you wouldn't continue to wax.
True.
True.
So it's
But it's only been
probably
like
gonna
a month or so.
Start to grow
I would
back.
rather be
Yes,
bald than have, like,
rather.
that hat, like, the growing
The stubble.
hair. Yeah,
The-
stubble.
As a woman who, has legs waxed and eyebrows waxed and stuff, a month, you'd start to get some stubble.
Okay, fair enough. So, he has seaweed green hair. His skin tone is more of a light teal. It has that thing where it's kind of like, anyway. But yeah, more of like a light teal skin tone. He has chainmail armor, and so it's a chainmail shirt. And of course, because of, the pirate episode, and because I had a kick for pirates for when this happened, he has the tricorn that he stole from the captain. He has the now tailored freaking... So he wears the chainmail shirt, and over the chainmail shirt, he has, the tricorn and has the whole jackets, the whole, like, pirate captain jacket.
The Admiral jacket.
The Admiral jacket. And freaking, like, and of course his bandolier, which he is a bandolier. I talked to Matt. It was a bandolier, and that holds his 2 flintlock pistols and bullets, and then of course the katana, and then freaking my lance, which hangs out somewhere.
I haven't decided where yet.
Kind of just drags along. Just.
Yeah, but that's just his basic. Like he looks like a pirate, other than the fact that he's a sea elf and does lives in the sea, doesn't surf the sea very often, unless it's on Shellington, and just freaking stole those clothes from the dead pirate because he killed him and was like, well, those are mine now. Like,
You were captain of the ship for a good solid 20 minutes.
no, because Matt said it was sinking. It was sinking. You gotta get off the ship. It's sinking.
It's
They fixed it and are freaking going away now. Well,
You were still captain of that ship.
I was captain of that ship, and my first mate did me proud. He fixed the ship, and they got the crew united. He made me so proud. I made him captain as he was leaving.
We're gonna find that crew later on, and we're just gonna be like, "You're
My,
captain."
Look at how the first mate has grown. I'm a Oh, it's you. Anyway, so
I am still proud of all those fire bolts. That
So-
was so much fun.
that's what Nero looks like. Again, 5'6".
I do enjoy the sea bear.
Very seaweed green.
Got crushed by bear
Teal skin.
at sea.
That man's funeral. Anyway, so that's Nero. Dang, what's Caleb look like?
All right, so Keelan is a high elf. Or
Nero's a sea elf, by the way.
No, you said
mentioned
that.
quite a few times.
Yeah, go ahead.
So he's got kind of the pale skin, and he's got dark brown hair. His eyes are green with gold flecks. Really he's not very striking, but what is kind of the most striking thing about him is he's got this red robe that he wears over his armor that it's red with gold trim, and he has this blue sword that has wave patterns on it that he calls Brilthor, that really hasn't really come up because it's not that special. It's stat-wise, it's just a normal scimitar, but it's the only sword he wants to wield for stuff that will probably come up later in the game, but maybe not, just based on how details kind of go.
It happens.
Yeah. But yeah, no, so it's this, so it's this blue, basically I've styled a lot of his weapons and stuff off of,
Percy Jackson.
no, actually,
Hey.
no.
Quit
No.
guessing.
It's
No, Percy Jackson typewriter. That's
just
it.
shut up. So his sword is a jian from Chinese. It's a Chinese straight sword that has this blue blade. And Brilthor is Elven for glittering torrent because it's blue and it has wave patterns and it's cool, and that's it's.
How tall is he?
He's 6 foot. Black.
How old are you, by the way? Did you mention that?
Height?
Yeah, 5'9".
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a really tall dude in this party then.
Good. I just go standard,
I'm
Yeah.
a furball.
Okay.
Furballs are at least 8 feet tall.
Oh, geez.
Still.
Yeah.
But anyway, just finishing up. He does have this empty scabbard on his back that the only descriptor I have for is it's supposed to be ornate. Matt never told me what that meant, but
Well, just a bit
Really
more
fancy.
decorative,
well, yeah,
nice.
but
Gold
is it
trims and
black with gold trim, which is kind of how I chose to imagine it.
So red cape, basically a sword on each hip. is
Nope,
what I
they're
understood.
all. So his sword and the empty scabbard are all the stuff is on his back
Okay.
because he
So, empty
he never
scabbard
draws
sword.
his swords; he summons them. So there's no need for the makes
It's my dad's
sense.
favorite.
And I guess otherwise fairly.
I don't like zero
plain
sugar, but
clothing
the cherry
is
helps.
alright.
Oh yeah, he's got this black leather armor that he picked up along the way. That he had the symbol of his order, the ringing blade, emblazoned on the shoulder. But once again, that symbol was never described to me. So
I could see it just
Artistic
as
liberty,
a sword, just with the wave patterns bringing out of
yeah,
it.
Just a sword with notes coming off of it.
Well, not notes, like, but like
yeah.
the
Singing
Singing blade,
blade.
not singing blade.
I kind of imagined.
Oh, the ringing?
ringing.
Yeah, ringing.
Oh!
It has bells.
So I kind of imagine like the symbol for power attack in KOTOR with melee
Yeah.
weapons. That's kind of what I imagined that looks like.
Sorry.
It's been how many weeks and you've
Sorry. I heard singing blade. I really did.
But yeah, I don't think I have that much other stuff. So it's funny. I was originally planning having all his spells cast in Elven, so I was building like the whole spell book.
This
That
dude
was-
was a madman for like 3 weeks and finally gave up.
It was 3 months. Thank you very much.
I tried making him more sane. I'm sorry.
But like, I literally was making a spell book where I was coming up with unique spell circles for each of the spells he had, and was translating them into Elven, and writing them in Elven alphabet. So there was no way I could read this thing, no possible way.
Yeah, like I don't think he explained it correctly. He was putting this all in the character sheet he references.
Yes.
It was all in Elven.
Well, all the descriptors were still in English.
Okay. Oh, I thought you did everything.
No,
I
but
thought you did.
In the actual spell book, every part of it was in Elven, like translated into Quenya, and then using the player's handbook Elven alphabet to write that.
This
Put a
is-
lot more effort into this than I did.
Yes. And I was going through that all the way through the first session, and then I tried to, when I started casting the spell, I found I could not get the word out just because I couldn't do it. I was too embarrassed.
Now, it's a mildly adult. You can say you were drunk. No.
No. And I gave it up after that because it's like, I can't bring myself to say the words.
Mhm.
How can I
Say the word.
Yeah.
So I think that's Caleb's description.
Yeah.
Cool.
Bjorn's turn.
Bjorn.
Bjorn is a very tall furbolg.
Blue giant.
I put down 8.5 feet.
Holy.
Yeah.
Like, really?
No, when I looked it up, furbolgs were at least 8 feet tall.
Wow, I did not know that.
Well, they are like Goliath.
Yeah.
They are considered large in their carrying capacity.
Yeah.
How tall are Goliaths?
About the same.
Oh. Wow.
Incidentally, in the last campaign, I was a Goliath.
Dang, that's...
Because that would have been
Yeah,
huge.
they are big. Which is why I often joke that Credence is just a squished down version.
He's just like a Bigfoot Junior.
Yeah. since
Credence
he-
and Key are the
has
same
the
height.
Same width as
Okay.
Bjorn here. It's just Bjorn is just a stretched out up to 8 feet.
Yeah. Credence and Key. I don't know if they're the exact same height, but we're around the same height.
Hold on. Are those basically just the Yeti of the D&D world that they made to a playable race?
More or less.
But more like
Do
Description
you know
of
the
furbolgs.
BFG?
Yeah.
Big Friendly Giant? That's basically what the furbolgs are.
but give them more animal characteristics.
Okay.
Like think of more like a deer nose, with and then more pointed ears, or floopy
The
ears,
images I
depending.
see have more like deer
Yeah,
ears.
they're kind of more like a bit of a deer folk.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I've also seen some go a bit bear, some go
Yeah.
a bit, the animal. They're animalist. That's why I say animalistic.
Animal giants. That's pretty interesting. Okay.
But they're not like full. Not like full half human. I mean, they're just like they have animal-like
They're a human
features.
that has animalistic traits. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty.
It's like I've seen them with like
Here's the picture.
kind of pod hands.
See, that doesn't translate to 8 feet tall.
I imagined more furry. Like I almost thought of like Beast from First Class level.
Oh, okay,
fur.
you know what? Now that you say that, I think that is the image I've always had. Was- because you said blue fur, and whatever reason, I always thought of Beast from First Class. Well, not even First Class. Actually, I always thought
When
Beast
he
from
says blue
Third.
fur, I think solely in Monsters Inc.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
Is your tail also scaly, or is that...
it's not scaly. It just has ridges.
Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, blue fur. I imagine it more like a light blue, maybe almost white.
Okay.
Because he does have pale skin underneath the fur, when you see it through like lighter patches.
So instead of Sasquatch, you're now the Yeti.
Basically, yeah.
Cool. Cool.
But honestly, what's the difference?
One's white, hey? Keep up.
Anything else?
The clothing he wears, he's mostly made himself.
Okay.
He's been like living on his own for hundreds of years.
He doesn't know what bath is.
That's what prestidigitation is for.
He doesn't know that.
Thank
That's
you,
why
Dana.
I keep using it on him.
The way you said that. The way you said that
Yes, Josh?
was very Data. Like, it was just very, and that. You just, yes, Captain, that is why it was invented.
Prestidigitation.
Honestly, that's a terrible word.
Prestidigitation.
Are you making fun of me?
Yes.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's a cantrip, right?
Yeah.
I could take that.
You know, I translated it into Minor Magic and then from that into Mitsukuru, which I like a lot more. But once again, I could barely get myself to say in game.
I feel like you said it pretty well right there. Like, that was
Yeah, no, in there, I've got all kinds of ones, like Green Flame Blade, which I love the translation for, is Esvelka Volk. It sounds fantastic.
That sounds like a that sounds like a Warcraft 3 like casting a spell with one of your like spellcasters.
Yeah.
Like that's
Like-
pretty cool.
And,
Yeah.
and the thing is, it may be something that you thought your character would do, but then once you started playing your character,
Well, it's
it just
not even that. Like, I fully expect that all of his spells are in Elven.
Mhm.
I just can't say them. I have a lot of the first level ones translated though. Like Firebolt is Urpi.
Orby.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, I'm good. Yeah, I'm sorry. We keep
Sorry.
taking-
No. It's good. So he has proficiency with leatherworkers tools. So he's from his travels. He's killed animals. He's eaten them. He's tanned their leather, and is wearing animal furs.
Cool.
Extra fluffy.
Yeah.
Could probably make a nice bed.
If you didn't smell awful.
If you didn't mind the spell,
Oh no, he's been cleaned up.
prestidigitation.
Joke's on you. I'm a sea elf. I can't smell. That's not an actual thing, but if I have to write it in. Sorry. Go ahead.
I know that's about it. He started with a scimitar and shield, but he's basically transitioned over to that great axe we picked up
From the
Minotaur.
Minotaur.
Translated over to the. Well, I can only
Or
imagine it as the
take that
Black
claws.
Knight, the Black Knight axe from freaking Dark Souls.
I
It's
don't
a
think I've seen him use
giant,
the axe very often.
just
No, I do not.
He only
I
he,
am going to next battle though.
yeah, because you're out of wild
Because you're out of
shapes.
wild shapes.
Yes.
Oh man, like we're all one. Sorry, we're all freaking one exhaustion point down. Bjorn's 2. Freaking, I'm pretty sure you're still missing HP.
Yeah.
Credence is definitely missing HP.
Okay.
Yeah.
To be fair, I wasn't planning
No,
on
I'm
you
not-
guys
I'm not.
arriving when I did that.
Well, if
However,
you did it, you'd be more dead than we currently.
I do have a.
I would have rather
Yeah.
that.
You have
would
two
have rather
really
kill
nifty ones.
myself
Two
with my own curiosity than kill the
daggers.
party.
Anyway, so Jalea.
Obviously her clothes have changed since last.
Here, you want to pull it up? They're currently a dark set of clothing. That is the only description I have, and if you want a hood, I have one of those too.
Thanks.
Oh, that was something you were in the room. Sorry, there was something I wanted to say. When you were talking about your character, and you were talking about how like everyone doesn't like her,
Uh-huh.
that is one thing that I have actually been trying. Like, 'cause
Yeah.
the whole thing with Nero is like, I give him props because he did something stupid that I thought was awesome, and so
I got
feel
to
like.
play. That was one of the few times I got to play that loose cannon idea that I wanted for that character.
But like, I feel like after you coming back with Credence, you have proven that like you are reliable in what we are trying to do, which is why like Nero has been, Nero freely was like, all right, here's clothes, and then when it was like you're the only one that will go with Credence in this
Here's
next
what-
thing, I basically just went, what do you want? Here's the selection.
I'm imagining like the in the Matrix all the like loading racks of weapons.
I should say she's felt disdain from the group in whole, not necessarily individuals. Just like she doesn't feel welcomed at all.
That's fair.
Like,
Might be
that's-
kind of like
like yes, a lot of you have not. I wouldn't say a lot of you. Some of you have shown kindness, yes, but she still doesn't feel. She feels like most of you would still be happier if she wasn't there.
Which
intense.
honestly,
I
as
know
a
you'd be
character,
happy
I wonder
if
if
he
that,
wasn't
I wonder if that, like, as a character.
Stop bashing on Nathan. He's the
Because like, I
DM
know
right now.
the party's
not the
trying
DM,
to
he's
help
the
on it.
moderator.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, there's been a bit of weirdness there where we're trying to understand that, but at the same time, we're also trying to.
So-
we're trying to be there. Like, for example, I gave you my rapier, which
Yep.
is
And
not.
she gave it back.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing is like she's seeing kindness, but she's also seeing.
Well, again, we
Oh.
just haven't had time because by the time we found you,
Yep.
we were able to give you the stuff and then we were gone. We haven't had a time to come back together as a group to
Yeah.
discuss what's happened yet, and that's kind of why I didn't like last episode because it just was
Yeah.
so
Yeah, it was so
scattered.
fast. It was like, no, we can't go together.
And again, it's not entirely Matt's fault and it's not entirely our
Well,
fault.
with that one, it felt so weird connecting the party back up just to rip them apart again.
And then, like, again, because,
Well, it's
I
like
can't think what her name is, but Mittens.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, nah, this secret tunnel's totally, like, it's all about up in the Yagamoth business, so I'm not going down there. And then
Bacheron.
goes and loots.
yeah,
And it's like, okay, so you're roguing now, and then, you and Fairy all decided to go back up with her because there was nothing else to do.
Yeah.
And the only reason I was there because that was as far as I was technically allowed to go.
Well, the thing is, it was me, you, and Fernando. We were in that room, and it's like, okay, how long were we in this room? We were in that room for hours. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And we tried to come up with things
I
to
went up
do.
because Creans was like, you left her alone. It's like, fine, I'll go back.
And it's like I was waiting because it's like
Yeah.
it's family.
We just
But we-
went to find, and we showed up.
In a way, we were trying to bond, though. Like,
Yeah,
We
but
were
it's just
kind
like
of bonding, and I gotta say, I loved that. Well, it didn't like that was funny, and then also where it was like, so you can talk.
yes.
So what
Yeah,
do
we
you actually
both
think
had that
about?
moment, too, where we were
What do
like-
you actually think about me? No words, just knife.
Just
And I
dagger.
Went, oh, nothing's changed. Okay.
That was one thing I wish we. I
Sorry,
had
we keep
gotten-
sidetracking from here.
Yeah,
We'll get back there in a
I
second.
wish I had gotten a little bit more time to try and talk to Fariel
Mhm.
because that's one of the problems.
I,
Whenever
would say, I
two,
wish we had more time to like,
Talk.
because I always have 20/20. Like, oh, I handled that situation wrong. Because like
Yeah.
when Pharaoh was reading my mind, I would have been like, I made deals. I'm not happy with the deal I made, and
Right.
frankly, I'm gonna try to get out of one
but it's
or do the bare minimal for one.
one thing I've noticed. Whenever two characters are alone, instead of trying to let them, or even when the party's just kind of sitting there talking, there's always trying. The world is trying to push us to act.
Mm.
We love you, Matt.
I didn't say Matt. I said the world.
Matt is the world.
He's your world.
the world.
Yes, he did. yes, Kay. Which is funny because whenever Matt's here, he basically like points out the fact that we hang out all together. And now that Matt's not here, you try telling him that he's my world. So you're both trying to like pit me towards each other.
It just came, there was the opening. I had to make it.
When really, we all know the only person that I love is Shadow.
Anyway.
For our audience, that's the studio.
Yeah, it's the studio cat. It's our cat. Which after a bit, he won't be our studio cat anymore.
What?
I'll talk about it later. It's personal things. Well,
Not on the stream.
it's not a stream thing, but it's something
You
you.
can't take my only love, Nathan.
It's something you guys should know because it's a big thing, but it's not a stream thing.
Right.
I mean, they will know because change of locations and things like that. But
Yep.
other than that.
All right.
Anyway.
Julia's character.
Julia.
Yeah.
So I imagine Julia actually being quite attractive because
That's
I'm a
fair.
girl, so that's fair. She has white
Is
long hair.
Nira
She was
was
like a
damn
princess or
gorgeous.
something,
I
too,
mean,
isn't
sorry.
Huh?
She was like a princess or something
She's a
too.
prince.
isn't
Yeah,
she?
she's royalty. So I imagine she's actually quite stunning. Like she's not.
That's fair. Plus,
But she has long white hair. It's usually in a braid, because it's easier to tuck behind
A
her
club.
hood to hide, especially since she's out in the world and not in the Underdark.
don't
But
know if
she's-
I've ever seen a Yagamoth with a braid. Well, sorry, I've been playing Matt's World way too long. I don't think I've ever seen a drow with a braid. Like, it wasn't until you said that. I can't actually, I don't have an image for that.
It's either a ponytail or a braid. I just
Yeah.
imagine it being a braid.
I'm picturing more of like a fancy sort of braid though, because
Yeah.
you gotta have some standard with that.
She has violet eyes because purple is my favorite color, so I decided to tie it in somehow.
That's actually that's
kind
standard
of standard
Yagamoth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yagamoth.
She.
Matt's converted me at this point.
She's about. I think we had this argument last time, and I can't remember when we finally decided how tall she was. Because I think I said like 5'9", 5'8", and then
Yeah.
all like Gawk saying that it was really tall, and I was like, but.
I don't know
Says
why I'm 5'9".
6. I know.
Yeah.
Like, Matt said
Well,
that, I'm like, that's
well,
it.
the thing is, you think about elves, and you always think more of the Lord of the Ring elves, which are tall. But
But 6 foot is.
if you look at the player's handbook, they're the same height as humans. They have the same height description as
They
humans.
even mature at the same speed as humans. They're just society considers them adults at 100.
And she is a young adult, as in like she's probably just barely over 100.
That's fair.
What else? She usually wears all black. Her bow, not that she has it anymore, was usually strung across with her quiver. She usually had a dagger in her boot. She usually had another dagger hidden up her sleeve. She had a rapier on her side, which is a family sword.
I think it was a
It
family
was.
sword.
Feel that one too.
I can't take. Oh, I can try.
but
But she
All
doesn't
the
have it
deadly
anymore.
swords.
She usually wears her signet ring on a chain around her neck. Because she
That-
wanted
Probably
it.
did.
That no, I'm thinking that you
It's not.
probably no, they take everything. Yeah,
They
that's
probably
right.
would have taken it. Like, let's be
They
honest.
took everything.
Yeah. Don't worry, I have a signet ring you can have.
She usually wore a hood with a scarf
Yeah.
because for what she is, she tries not to be recognized.
So you're looking
She
more
usually wore
more ninja style with that,
Yeah.
or more Arab style with
probably
that,
more.
where you have it kind of more loose.
Probably loose. Because
Okay.
I can't stand something close to my face, so I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Someone
And you want to
standing
create is like the tightness. You want to create more of just the
So it'd be
illusion
kind of
of.
more like
Yeah.
pinned up to like the top of your head
Mhm.
rather
Yeah.
than like tight
So, like-
here
And
in your
then-
face.
yeah.
Literally, all you could probably see is her eyes, and that's it.
Fair.
She probably she wore long gloves, so you couldn't see her hands. So really, if you look closely at her eyes, is the only thing you could tell that she was a Yagamoth when she was fully dressed.
Now you got baggy-ish clothing.
Baggy-ish clothing.
That was one thing I noticed, and this might just be a thing that Matt does with Yagamoth, but so when I used to run one, he had this whole hood that had like a veil that covered his face. That got lost, like that was gotten rid of in a fight, and I was not allowed to buy a new one.
This might be interesting.
So
She's-
keep an eye out
Well,
for
the
that.
other reason she tries to hide her identity is because she is a part of a high royal family.
Yeah.
She will probably be recognized by that, and that is something she doesn't want.
And targeted by things that are not just Yagamoth, which has been the problem up to this point.
Up
But
to this point. Because if she's not targeted by Yagamoth, I foresee her being targeted by other
Mhm.
races because of her stance in the Drow community.
I gotta say that was cool. Like when we were at the one shrine where there was the dagger, and freaking like you got attacked in the night and Nero was there,
Uh-huh.
and freaking like I technically saved your life.
Yep.
I shot the man,
Yeah.
and like that was the most like honest BA moment I've ever had so far. Like yes, I pushed all the jogs off with the shield at one time and then died. The next turn.
Died right after.
But like that one, it was like, okay, I need to wake everyone up and kill this guy. God.
But
Yeah, go ahead.
so that's kind of how I picture her looking like. She's,
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I just imagine, like again, we said baggy clothing. Now I just imagine like workout pants and like
right.
some kind of just like really like.
Loose hoodie with
Like, basically, I imagine you. Oh, sorry, I was burping there. I imagine you in like black scrubs now, basically. Like I don't know why, but that's my idea of just breathable clothing. or
Before
scrubs.
all of her stuff was taken, she was probably in something kind of tight, and like she did have a cape, like a
Yeah.
hood.
You think
a
assassin?
cloak,
Yeah,
yeah,
you think assassin? You think movability.
Yeah.
But
Black Widow.
she's lost everything, so she's gonna.
So now
have to
she,
find
when she
out
walks, it
about
goes.
things.
A thing I say, I was thinking about this recently. Like, I'm trying to remember if my armor's heavy or not. I totally should have given you that. Just like it was one of those things again where I was like, I should have done that because like you were going into a situation without us, and I was like, I need to give her everything. But I think I had
My
heavy
sights,
armor.
every time we finish a game, I
You
always
wearing
look back
chain?
and I'm like, I totally
Chain
handled
shirt,
that
which I
situation.
think is heavy.
I think it's
Should've
medium.
handled it this way.
I think
I have an
chain-
18
But never
AC,
comes
so I
to
think
me
it's
till
heavy.
Oh, it's scale. That's medium. That's right.
No, I don't have an 18. I have something else because I no longer have the shield.
Because shield gives you +2.
Yeah, which is what brings me to 18 if I remember. Yeah, I have a 16 right now, which I think is chain shirt.
I think it's
I think I'm at 12 right now.
Anyway, yeah, I was thinking about that. I should have given that to you. Elbows.
It's okay. It
Don't
just
ask what
got
happened,
thrown
I
into
don't
a
know.
pit, and then a bear pushed him into the pit, and he landed on my knife. It worked great.
Talk about luck.
Yeah. All right, is that your character description?
Yeah, that's it.
Sorry,
Okay, so Fernando.
I
Very
just
much
imagined the red mage from Final Fantasy.
no, very much stereotypical kind of look for like your swashbuckler
I
kind of
imagine the
conquistador kind of thing.
I imagine like Cortez from Road to El Dorado.
See, I think of Princess Bride when he says it.
Wait, which one for Princess Bride?
Inigo Montoya?
Yeah.
So actually, a lot of those were kind of inspirations for
Yeah.
this. The things I was basing like his design off of was kind of I was thinking like the classic conquistador look. I was thinking musketeers. I was a little bit of Zorro thrown in there. There was also the Telmarines from Chronicles of Narnia, the design for them.
Oh,
Was
right.
also thrown into there a bit. So, for looks, so Fernando, I actually did look at the character sheet and find out what his age was because I forgot that. He's 24 years old and 6'2". Kind of a taller dude, dark hair. He wears a kind of musketeer hat with like a feather sticking out of it, which is an albatross feather because that is actually traditionally albatross is like a symbol of luck or good fortune, one you have to see. Unless you shoot it down, in which case it's just.
You'd think they'd be a symbol of uncoordination.
This is not the rescuers.
Oh, I was like, where are we going with this joke?
I didn't think of the name of the show real fast. This is not the rescuers down under.
It's not just from that. That's a thing. Albatrosses suck at taking off. They're really good flyers, but they're really bad at landings and takeoffs.
Well, think of that
He's
wingspan.
kind of like a loose, kind of white tan shirt and either burgundy or brownish pants.
Okay, so a flowy shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wears a breastplate over the top of it, kind of conquistador style, a little bit of engravings on it. Not anything super fancy, but there nonetheless for extra embellishment on that. Has boots that go pretty much all halfway up his calves or a little bit further than that, like the really, really big kind of swashbuckler boots that you tend to see in a lot of fantasy stuff. Has a rapier on one hip and a parrying dagger and basically a quiver with bolts in it on the other. And then, if for all of you who have ever seen Dragon Prince, you know how Rayla holds her knives, or they're kind of so. The lightning daggers that I acquired are kind of held in that, or lightning swords, or short swords. They're basically very long daggers, as I imagine them. So, have that there, big old great sword on my back, and
You
a
now
knife
have
in
an
my
eye
boot.
patch.
I also lost an eye recently, so I have an eye patch now. Probably a little bit of a goatee kind of scruff thing
Let's be
going.
fair though, you didn't lose the eye. It's now just a part of a sword.
Yeah, it's part of the great sword.
You know exactly where it is.
Mm-hmm. It knows exactly where I am most of the time. And other than that, the crossbow, actually the crossbow I basically stole directly from Chronicles of Narnia, the Telmarine crossbow, where it looks like the bird or the I think it's like a crow actually. That
Alright,
it's supposed to look like on the
It
front.
looks like Keith.
You know what my favorite crossbow ever was? And it's sad because people hate this movie, but freaking balls. What is that movie called? Wait a minute. Van Helsing.
His
Freaking
cat.
crossbow, the ram head, the fully auto crossbow. Oh,
Yeah.
that movie was awesome. Like it was not
Dips
like
it in the holy water.
yeah, like that crossbow itself is just a beautiful looking weapon.
I was kind of going for more of a simple sort of design on that, just because I didn't want it to be.
It's a
like,
crossbow, like
Yeah, it's.
it does what it does and it does it good.
And yeah, I think that's about it for design. I had to decide if he had like a cape or something on him. I guess he wears a backpack because everyone has a traveling pack.
Yeah. What armor do you wear?
Breastplate.
breastplate.
Oh, right, you
Breastplate.
said that.
I've actually kind of. So, Fernando recently acquired smithing ability, like as a skill proficiency, and so he's working on trying to take some of the elven armor, like the Yagamoth armor that's been acquired, and trying to mold it into like bracers and shin guards and other, like kind of expanding it, not full plate, probably more like half plate is what he's going for with
Okay,
that.
that's kind of cool.
But like a light half plate.
Yep, there goes the cat.
There goes my hero.
So that's Shadow. He's our studio
Okay,
cat.
slitting my wrist? What the hell was that? What the fuck? That didn't. Yeah. See, I've watched too much CSI. I have visions going through my head of what that would be.
Looks like he needed a hand.
I'm Nero. Thank you. Sure. So,
No.
we got any questions from chat?
No questions from chat.
All right. Is
You
there
guys
any?
don't care about us.
Why? We don't care about. Never mind. That was too real. Too real. Gotta hit the button on that one.
Bzz.
All right. Anyone just got any general things we want to talk about? Well, I'll say this one time, and I'll be 100% real. I hate all of you so. No, I'm kidding.
It's okay, man. The feeling is mutual. Wait, what?
Altering to that.
Well then.
That's definitely he's like. That way we're talking about like how characters interact because we don't actually get a lot of time to do it in the game.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I
Well,
think I know where you're going with it. Go ahead.
I'm trying to get like a sense of like how like we do actually interact since we actually have time to talk about that.
Yeah.
Because at one point Josh and I were kind of discussing, we realized that as both being fighters and both kind of filling the same roles and kind
Yeah.
of being in the same places most of the time, we probably have a mutual respect for each other.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, dude. Freaking fighter bros.
But we never actually like it's just kind of been silent up to this point because we never have the time to like
Exactly.
talk shop or
That's- Like there's
Spar.
It's weird to me how one of the biggest problems we have as a group is how disjointed our party is, and we never really get a chance to fix that.
We don't get a chance to
Well-
roleplay that out.
Well, one of the problems I notice is that, and it's a good problem, but it's a problem, is we like to joke.
Yes.
We tell jokes, and that just derails. It's like
It takes a lot of time.
it's like characters are trying to have a conversation, then all of a sudden it's like one person would say something, it's like, oh, that refers to this, and then we'll make a joke, and it just derails, and then we'll never get back to the
Yeah.
conversation. It's
Yeah.
like those jokes are good, but just we can never get back to what we were doing.
Yeah.
And it's like that's why I like doing something like this, where it's like we can get those jokes out and not have to worry about it.
I would love to have either considering how late we go a lot of times, I would love to have like a pre-show.
And it's
Which-
like
We could start doing. We just have to start earlier.
Mhm.
Like when just like the whole like when people are arriving, just sitting down and just talking. But again, that would require us to like be rolling during that time.
which we can. I mean, I usually have this set up before.
That's also the time that we take to like go through personally with each other.
Mhm.
Has anyone noticed that the
So-
game keeps ending later
Yes.
each time?
Mhm.
Lately we've gone later and later and later.
Yeah.
Well, you've also noticed we've also started later
But
and
we've also
later.
started later.
True,
and
we've been
later
trying
and
to
later.
like yeah.
Because at the beginning, you guys were showing up at 6:40, 6:57, and now lately.
Yeah.
Well, it's because I no longer drive this one or Connor.
Well, I
freaking
showed up at
Was under the
6:45
impression
today.
at the beginning.
And it's like
Started at
and it's just like it's not a bit. It's not a.
It's not a hit on anyone. It's just something we've noticed that
Yeah.
now people
But,
are
like-
showing up at 7:30.
I mean, and I have been
7:50.
thinking since
not
about 10
starting
episodes
until
in to like, what if we do a pre-show? But then it's like, okay, well that requires actually people coming a half hour, 45 minutes
Yeah.
earlier.
Which used to be okay for me, and now that my work schedule's like get off at
And
7,
we can't really do a post show because I mean it's 11 o'clock at
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
Good, like,
In the middle of the week, I could see it if it was on a weekend, but
And I mean,
that's my bad too. Is that a lot of days I don't get off until 6 or something.
Mhm.
I gotta make dinner or something before I run over here and.
yeah.
get
And then it's like,
going.
and I was thinking maybe we do it on another day, but then you guys all have other games that you play, and so it's like, it's kind of hard to coordinate. That's why it's like, every once in a while I want to do this.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like,
Which
and
is good.
even if
Yeah,
even
I
if it's
think
like
it's
we
still-
have everybody here, it's
I
still.
think considering everyone's schedules, like every it could even be like every 10 episodes,
Mhm.
we do a sit down and just talk.
Yeah.
we do a
For freaking whatever reason, I just keep getting the
And then it's one of the reasons I started the Discord as well, is so we can take what we discuss here. It's like, okay, those jokes I wanted to say, even though they may be time appropriate, we can post them on the Discord.
Yeah.
And use the Discord to, it's like, I mean, you're saying it's like, it's been a long time since we've seen each other, but I mean, most of us are on the Discord.
I'm sorry, dude. I don't like Discord.
I know Discord's a bit confusing, but it's just like, it's one of the reasons I started the Discord, or even the text group. I mean, even though
The only person that's not on it now is me.
By the way, that warmed my heart when we were talking about that, and you're like, oh yeah, I kept laughing at the things you're saying. I was just like, oh, he cares. Or at least he laughs. One
He
of the
just
two.
wants you to think he does.
but it's just like,
That's all I need, dude. I'll accept a life.
You were
right?
suffering a hot, humid day.
Oh, man, it has been so hot the past couple.
yeah, but we were in Nauvoo, so right next to the Mississippi.
Right before.
Welcome to the South.
And it was right, and it was the day before a storm as well. So it's just
Oh.
the day after the storm was nice.
I've been in the South during a storm.
Yeah.
It sucks.
I lived in the South for most of my life. And
like
you know what?
right
I actually
before-
kind of miss it a little bit in a weird way.
But on Tuesday
That's
night
just not
we were sitting there Tuesday night like,
No.
why aren't we playing D&D?
I was
That's
so sad
like-
that we weren't going to play tonight.
Because you know, we kept wondering if anything was going to happen, even if there wasn't a stream for it.
I kept wanting to
Well,
ask, but I don't want to.
If you guys hadn't noticed, I just try and make you guys decide because we weren't being there.
Well, but
But it's like every time you guys had the option, it's just like it just dispersed.
I think no one wanted to take charge of it.
yeah.
Because Josh and I both were like, is anything going to happen?
I kept talking to him and Connor about it. I'm like, should we ask? Shouldn't we? But the
I mean,
problem
I
is,
would have let you guys borrow cameras.
Yeah.
Not this, but the cameras, and
Hey,
I would have let you borrow a USB microphone. It's like I would let you add things, but you guys had to decide because I wasn't going to be there.
because we could have done this.
You could have done-
similar to this while you guys were gone and just passed the
Yeah,
microphone
yeah,
around.
and I gave you the option.
Yeah.
It's just like,
It's just
but the thing
no
is,
one wanted to
No
take
one wanted to
charge.
take-
well, the thing is, if I said, okay, this is what we're going to do, I wasn't there.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted you guys. But it's like,
Yeah.
it's understandable.
And it was okay to take one break.
It was okay to take a break, and it's going to be a bit longer of a break because of the personal things happening. I probably won't be streaming for a while,
Oh, that sucks.
but
Wow.
it's basically as a change of venue.
Yeah, I know.
Just hopefully just this weekend
Yeah,
is what it takes up.
Okay.
but yeah,
Maybe not.
Let me know if you need help with stuff.
We actually would.
You know.
Depending on when I'm working, I
Well,
could also
so-
help, but like it just depends on when you guys are moving.
yeah, we'll let you guys know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's understandable we are moving, but it's change of venues.
Yep.
Change of venue.
But yeah, all right. Well, this has been fun.
That,
Yeah.
like
Yes.
honestly, despite how much we have bashed on you for this entire stream, this is like, I don't know. There's just a weird, like, comfortable feeling now. Like, you know,
If he watches it,
I was talking about Nathan actually because we've talked about killing Key, we've talked
I'm
about
sorry,
pushing
I've-
Key off cliffs.
I've had problems with keys thieving for a few weeks.
Matt,
Like I said, it's all Key knows is
yeah, no,
thieving.
like it's in character. It's great. Just as a with Caleb, it's like you don't touch my stuff.
All I know is pain.
Matt, I still love you, kind of. You know.
we look forward to next week.
I feel it's totally normal for players to rant about the actions that
Oh, yeah.
happen in game, and that
Mhm.
there's no real problem with it,
No.
as long as it doesn't actually interfere with the game.
Mhm.
I'll stop trying to complain on camera though. Like I've been doing that a lot, and I've started realizing I'm getting to like a bit of not preachy, but like
You're whiny.
I'm very whiny.
Yeah.
I'm ungodly whiny.
Yeah, it's just something that we need to work on to help with the game flow and the character flow,
Yeah.
and also. Even it's like not only we interrupt. If Matt interrupts a character conversation, you can shush him. don't mind shushing the D. It's like we're having a conversation over here.
Yeah, but like with the conversation I was having with Farrell in the staircase, it's like we're climbing those stairs for hours.
An hour and a half.
Yeah, we got to say like 2, maybe 3 sentences each.
To be fair, Fariel, it seemed like Fariel was shutting you down at like most turns.
Okay, but still, I would have liked a chance to work on it more than just like, and you guys arrived. But
Well, like I said, even it was like the 3,
Yeah.
4 hours that we were in that one room together. I mean, it wasn't until the very end that we
I know
started doing
very few
things.
People that can sit for 3 hours in silence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If I have a
Conversations,
phone,
that's
yes,
what happens.
Well, you were attuning.
I was trying to attune.
You were attuning.
No,
No.
I wasn't.
No, he wanted you
I
to
was
just
trying to
relax.
get people to spar with me.
Oh yeah.
And I was attuning.
I would have gladly taken you up on that if I had been down.
Incidentally, we tried doing that at the beginning on the ship before the dragon
Yeah,
popped out, and we
like-
we need a rematch.
We do, because I was really looking forward to that first duel, because like I had, you didn't have anything really special. I had my stuff set up. I was going to go into that mode and be the wizard that beats the fighter again. Now with all your crazy weapons, I don't know what's going to happen.
And you think back, we also had that week worth of travel that
Nothing.
Yeah.
happened.
nothing really happened.
Yeah, and when we tried to, well, what happens? And it's like, well, you're there now. It's like, but we just had a week.
And that needs it's again, it's not the DM. It's like
No,
it's like
no.
we just need to be a bit better at role playing and
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
sitting down and being our characters.
I'll be honest, now that you've suggested it, I would love to see what a spar between Fernando and Nero would look like.
Oh, no kidding.
Well, that's the
But-
thing is like, if you think about real life, like you guys would be practicing sparring with each
Yeah.
other. That would be a
Like, that's
normal
definitely a
thing.
thing I can see. I just, it's technically at this point, it's happened off camera. And so it's one of those things where it's off camera. So technically it's that, like, Schrodinger's cat, whereas it could have happened or it couldn't have happened. But now that we've thought about it,
We
the
know that.
likelihood of it happening has now increased.
And now we just need to bring it on camera a little bit
Yeah.
because
And
that would be
like-
fun.
Yeah.
Whenever we have
Another thing,
a break of
If you guys ever wanted to spar something larger than you, like a
Fight the bear.
or
smaller
later
than you.
on, I will get other forms of other types of monsters. I would be perfectly willing to be like, oh, we just defeated this thing. How could we have done this better?
Are we gonna pull a Final Fantasy X and be able to spar any monster that we previously fought just because?
No, not any monster.
Most.
Any monster with a CR he can turn into.
Yes, yes, that's the stipulation, basically.
But like character relationship wise, I know that I feel like Nero and I do get along very well, even though we haven't really done that on
No, like I
camera.
feel like we play off of each other. Like not play off of each other, but
But
like
we would.
we hold understandings. Like with like party order, where like we look at each other and we go, okay, probably we should have one here, one here. Like we've talked about like where we should be and what we should be doing.
I feel like probably with Caleb, my relationship to him would be more of like, it's like we'd get along, I bet, but I would probably see you more of like a rival because we haven't actually managed to have a good duel yet.
Well, so that's another thing, because you flat out say that your goal is to become the best swordsman.
So you'd be a
That's-
rival.
Well, and mine is kind of, my goal is to join the Five Rings and do that, all that kind of stuff. So we're kind of on the same path, and I definitely could see a very intense, full-on duel later on.
A good friendly rivalry.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, and I like that. I feel like a friendship between Nero and Shalia could be possible.
I think so too.
But like, we just need to find that area to broach.
You gotta think of where she grew up, or at least what I've heard about the Agamotth too. Though she doesn't know how to take kindness, because usually when someone shows kindness,
Yeah.
it means that she owes them something.
Yeah.
So she probably has no idea how to take you giving her stuff to go with.
And Nero,
Greetings,
like
or-
Nero's, a lot of Nero's stuff is he's always straight faced. That is another thing that I can't do. I tried, I still haven't been able to master it. The sunglasses helped. That one time, they actually worked wonders. But like Nero is always straight faced, and like one of his personality traits is he actually is slow to return things he's borrowed. But like I feel like with that one, it works both ways. I will like if you give like borrow something, I probably won't give it back. But I feel like he also has the understanding that if I give something out, I
It might
fully
take
expect
a
not
while,
to see it
yeah.
again. Like, it's that weird thing where like I feel like we could have an interesting friendship. I feel like Bjorn,
You're just
the
a
bear,
friendly bear.
Yeah.
the freaking bear,
I feel like
bear.
I've kind of become like the mascot.
Yes,
Yes.
I can absolutely see that.
I think you need to
There
change
could
your
only be
Will Be
one.
Right Back screen to Bjorn.
Yeah, I didn't I didn't make those. That was actually made by I can't remember his name now. Alyssa's son.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
He was at the very first few episodes. He
Yeah.
ran our tech for a bit.
I did not know
Yeah,
that he made those.
He drew those for us.
Those were actually really good.
I wish he made a ending, like a see you
See you
next
next
week.
time.
Because I can't go in and change it because of how he has it made. I can't just go in and edit
Man,
it.
that would have been cool though. Yeah.
Something I like to think of with all both Bjorn's transformations is he keeps the fur color.
Yeah. It's a blue bear.
A blue bear, if he turns into a wolf, a blue wolf.
That's cool. Yeah.
You
But,
can
like,
have-
When you change into a polar bear, it doesn't really change much.
Yeah, that's why it's kind of a lighter blue.
But like, again, with our party, I feel like not Fernando, but Ferial. Ferial is just an
The odd one
enigma,
out.
He's the outlier, yeah.
and he does that by his own choice and his own merits. But like, I feel like there are with like Nero. I even feel like with Key, like once we get over the trying to murder each other factor, I feel
Or
like
the
there's gonna be a
Eldritch Horrors.
weird understanding there.
Mm-hmm.
So don't forget the Eldritch Horrors.
Yeah, I think like with what I was saying, the one I have the biggest bone to pick with the party is Key, not just because the stealing, but because you're messing with things you don't understand.
And who says that I don't understand them?
The wizard.
The wizard who's always right would rather eat his armor than say he's wrong.
Yep.
Well, again, it's just now that Key's revealing it a bit more,
Yeah.
it's like, but it's just like we just need to. That's why it's like this doing this is nice. Sitting down, and actually talking about characters and thinking about it, because it's like you think about your character and it's like you never get to bounce ideas off of anyone else
Yeah.
until you're
I
in
feel like
game.
most of us are on the verge of actually being friends and uniting the party. We
Yeah.
just haven't had a chance to figure out how to do that.
Now is when we need the event that pushes us
Yeah.
all to work together.
I had like this makes me think of something a DM told me once. 'Cause I was at Comic-Con. I went to a 5th Ed like Adventures League or whatever that's called.
Yeah, it's Adventures
And-
League.
We were on a map where like they had giant braziers full of fire, and my character ran past one of them. The DM was like, "Oh, you moved into like this feed. You actually take fire damage because it's so hot." And I went, "Oh, well, my character doesn't know that, so I'll just take the damage." But the DM was like, "Yeah, but it's kind of hard because like I didn't tell you that." And it's kind of that we're like, yes, it's something that supposedly exists, but until we've now talked about it, we didn't know it was a thing.
Yeah.
And now moving forward, I feel because like. I think now that we know how each other's acts, we now know how our character would see you acting, and
Yeah.
that now changes what the view is.
And it's another problem that is like this group only gets together on Tuesdays. Like
Yeah.
me and Kenzie don't see any of you except for Tuesdays or when we're playing games.
I would love to meet up with you guys more. You seem like fun people.
But it's like now we're actually sitting down and we're not being our characters, we're being us. We see a bit more personality, and now we can see, oh, that's why they're playing their character that way.
Yeah. Like,
I have
Or it's like, oh, that's how I can be. It's like, or it's like not even that. You're thinking like, oh, now I know how I can act with this and this.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
I
it's just,
st-
It's the fun of D&D, honestly.
yeah, I really do want to play more into that loose cannon side. Of
and which you might because it's like there are. I can see at least 3 people who could become the leader of the group
Exactly.
without Credence here.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
And it's
Look,
like
once again, Matt, we love you.
it was the 3 people I can see it was Calum, Shalia, or Fernando.
Yeah.
Were
I
the
could
3
agree with
people
that.
I
Yeah.
could see that would lead the
Yeah.
group after Credence left, which
I would love to see Shalia leading the group.
And I'll,
Oh, sorry. Kay was going to say something else.
Matt,
both
I
are-
love you, but having an NPC lead the party is one of my biggest pet peeves. Like,
We say Deus Ex Dwarf at this point for a reason.
like once again, like we love you. We're really enjoying the game.
it just feels like railroading.
I'm just letting you know that it's like just as a DM and as a player, it's one of my biggest pet
However,
peeves of
I
all
will
time.
say, when we first started on the adventure, we did a lot of side things that
Yeah.
we let into. Credence did not.
Yeah.
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 Like grabbing Shellington again and
Yeah.
like. Yeah.
And the whole thing with that village, Creed just wanted to move on. I'm just like, no.
Yeah, it's like we have done things that are that we've.
We just haven't had anything since we hit the forge that really.
Well, there hasn't been. There's only been like 1 or 2 times where it's like the decision has come down to the players.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, what are you guys gonna do? And I feel like a lot of times because the group isn't united yet, it splits. Like
Yeah.
when Credence was like, we go back to when Credence was kidnapped. It's like, okay, we're going to go after Credence. Well, Key wanted to go after Shalia,
But they're in the same place.
but they're in the same place. But it's like it just felt like we were so. Even though that we were going to this possibly the same place because we didn't know yet,
For some
it
reason,
still
we
felt
flipped to the
so.
library, which was one of those things I never understood.
Yeah.
That was another thing that was weird.
Well, we were trying to find information on the Underdark.
Yeah.
Because it was like we knew that they was kidnapped by the Yagamoth, and so we needed a way to get down there. So we're like, okay, where's the closest entrance? Because the closest entrance I knew was all the way back in the beginning town.
Right.
And you lost the source that would know where.
And so that's why we went there. Was one because we took the sword and we didn't want it with the king, but
Could you
two was
imagine if I
information.
wasn't kidnapped, guys, and I led you straight to Credence without having to go through this pit?
Yeah.
It would have been awesome. Matt, I have one bone I want to pick with you real fast. Again, I love you. You're great. But in combat situations where there's NPCs or people who aren't here, can we adhere to the fact that turns take a certain amount of time and you can only do a certain amount of things in them? I'm sorry, but it annoys me when we turn around and it's like, oh, you see that in one turn, the NPC or player character who's not here has a body of corpses or like a bunch of corpses around them.
Mm-hmm.
It is turns that last 6 seconds?
6 seconds.
The last 6 seconds, I would be okay if there was one body. I would be okay if they were currently fighting somebody. But where we turn around and somehow Mittens alone has taken out like 7 things by herself in one turn just drives me personally crazy.
I think we found Josh's biggest pet peeve.
Like, just, it's 6 seconds and somehow not only have things gotten around us, but Mittens has killed all of them, or Credence has killed all of them, and it's like...
Dang it, you needed that XP.
It's not even XP. Like, we don't do XP in this
No,
game.
we're
I know,
doing
I know.
milestones.
There's no place for XP in 5th Ed.
Somehow Mittens has a higher kill count than DeVito did, and DeVito was a war cleric. But because of,
to
like...
be fair, DeVito wasn't killing party members.
Shots fired.
Shots fired at the grave cleric.
But, like, I'm sorry, that annoys me. I understand why. Rule of cool, which is both the coolest and rule that sometimes annoys me the most.
Mm-hmm.
I just, that peeves me. I love you, man. Like, yeah. Can't wait to see you next week.
That peeves you.
I don't know.
Alright. Probably time to wrap this one.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
currently 10:04. This was awesome.
Yeah,
It was good.
I really enjoyed this.
I mean, we could continue talking. I'm just saying for the stream wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Look, we bumbled around for like 3 hours,
Well,
2 hours now.
One thing though, you talked about Nero's relationship with everyone
Oh, except for Kayla.
me, and from what I've seen of it, it's kind of becoming a kind of friendship there, just from that.
Romance.
No.
No.
That what you guys have is
No, what we have is a romance. We already have the ship name, which is Cavalbear. Like,
Calaberry.
Cavalbear.
I ship it.
But,
It has been shipped, actually.
but yeah, but just that
Well,
moment
Nero's into tall guys, like, you know.
when we went to the lake.
I
and
might have
you tried
stepped
to,
over the line.
No, it's fine. We went to the lake and you tried to lose me, and I misty stepped back onto the turtle,
Yeah.
and then got eaten by the megalodon and came out of it.
I think you won respect there. I will completely honest.
Yeah.
Like, Nero normally
I can't wait till I
doesn't
can
care.
get into that.
You, like, I think what happened was you were in my home territory, which is water. And, like, you pulled something off that most sea elves couldn't do. And I went, that's impressive. I'll give you props for that.
I am disappointed with one thing though. My
There's
plan.
a giant god.
No,
Sorry.
no, my plan while inside, because I knew there was going to be some giant sea monster there. I felt it in my bones. I felt it, and so I wanted to get eaten because it went exactly as I wanted, but I forgot to grab the biggest fish. That was part of my plan after getting eaten was to select the biggest fish in the stomach and teleport out. And I forgot to grab the fish.
Problem with plans. You gotta work
Does
all.
Thunderstep have a limit to the size of your companion that you can bring with
I
you?
think it's similar size, just like Dimension Door.
Aww.
You gotta become an actual Torbjorn, huh?
What's the matter?
Yeah.
The Thunder Bear?
No, I was
Your size or smaller.
Yeah,
Your size
it's
is
the same.
smaller.
It's the same with Dimension Door. It's your size or smaller.
No,
That-
I was thinking, hey, let's
That was a good time.
Thunderstep the Megalodon out.
Thunderstep with the Megalodon.
Pull a Galaxy Quest and like bring the giant rock monster on the ship.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, they never say they got it. Oh no, they jetted in. They
They jettisoned
bombs.
it.
yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Thanks.
Alrighty.
Yeah, no, look, that was the thing I'm regretting the most about the lake is I didn't grab the fish.
Yep.
All right. Well, this has been great.
Yeah.
And
Probably wasn't really much to watch.
I think about 8 to 10 episodes, about 2 months
Yeah.
between each one of these, and then we just do it and make it again. It's an optional thing, so we don't.
Yeah,
So the people who want to come can come,
that's what's sweet. I like that.
and we'll switch. Matt, if Matt's here, he'll be in the DM chair.
The only way this could have been better if I was eating a smothered burrito. Like that's I think is the only way this
Yeah,
possibly could have been better.
I
for me.
think with the you guys do a great
Why'd you
job
make me
providing
think
us
of
with
that?
food most weeks, and thank you so much.
Yes, I didn't need more money for that. By
It's
the way.
so nice of you. I think these sit down episodes would be a lot more fun with. Food.
Yeah, we didn't think it would go this long.
No,
Exactly.
We thought it'd be like an hour and then
Yeah.
done, but so-
Honestly, for a while there, it was kind of looking a little shaky in
Yeah.
that way.
Then
In the
we got
beginning?
granting.
Yep.
Anyway,
yeah, but yeah, thank
Yeah.
Thank
this
you.
was great.
thank you guys, and
Chat.
thank the viewers.
you were here. If not, YouTube. Thank you, Matt. We
Sorry.
We love you. Why is it only us saying it? No. Oh,
I mean, I said sorry.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Because we're the only ones saying stuff about it. So we love you, Matt. We. What, do you have anything you want to say?
Please don't take away the family sword from me. You do currently have the card for that.
Don't kill us.
No, don't kill us. If it's worth the story, just do it.
Don't TPK us.
Or maybe not a TPK, but if like
Actually,
3 of us die.
if you do TPKS, just make it epic, man. Make it epic.
Big restart button, just everybody dies.
And then our ancestors.
Tiamat slides down.
Greens completes the sword and the power stone snap the world.
That would be awesome.
We will come back.
Anyway, so thank you very much.
Yeah.
This is Forgotten Worlds.
Yeah, this is Forgotten World Adventures
I
on
don't-
the Studio Nathan channel.
Sorry, you're in the DMC. Do
I-
it.
Bring it home.
No, if you want to do
Bring
it,
it
go.
home.
If
Bring it
you,
home,
if, you,
Nathan.
if you guys want to do it, go ahead.
No, just do
You're
it.
the guy in the chair, dang it!
Out of the chair. All right, fine.
Alright, I'm taking Tate's seat. Alright, you know, thank you.
So this has been a special Q&A episode. Well, more of A's than Q's.
I mean, there's like.
Answers you didn't even know you wanted.
Yeah.
But you got them anyway.
We will, hopefully,
Return to our regularly scheduled
yeah,
program.
right, yeah. Hopefully next Tuesday we'll have the next episode of Forgotten World Adventures, the actual campaign.
Maybe in a
Same
new
bat
location.
time, maybe not same bat
Maybe
place.
in a new location.
Same bat channel.
So keep an eye on that. Other streams probably will not happen between now and then because of locations moving. But we'll keep you up to date. Follow us on here on Twitch or Mixer, wherever you're watching. You can follow Forgotten World Adventures on Facebook. You can join the Discord and
It's
come
not
talk
the
with
Blood
us.
Cycle Company.
No, or the New Zealand Tour Company.
It's the same one.
Oh, it's the same one. Yeah, that's why I put D&D at the end of the hashtag. It's Forgotten World D&D.
Ah.
Is the hashtag, and no one else has that hashtag. It's just us, so we don't have to battle for it.
That's cool.
And then follow us on Discord. Keep an eye out for other streams here on the channel if there are going to be some. If not, we will see you guys next Tuesday for our next game.
Which, yeah, we'll probably all die.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So all this,
Kill everyone!
all this talk about our characters, useless.
Yeah, that would be the most depressing. But, yeah. Anyway, good night.
Good night. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.